The following is basically a test run for the podcast, The Realest Hour. This format will be way more fleshed out in the future, similar to how the guys on the Darkest Hour run their show, where it's more Discord, more set up, more formal. But this kind of sprang up last season at the end of the wipe, and it was a really interesting discussion from me, a melee only player on Barbarian, and a few other people on my team who primarily play melee and or like to play melee more than ranged, talking with people that were primarily only playing ranged and not engaging in the game. This happened as a consequence of me turning off all the lights on the jail room arena map and hiding in the bottom because I didn't want to play shoot and shooter for 45 minutes. It's a little bit long-winded. It's roughly 2 hours, but there's a lot of interesting conversations. Urban Gent is in here. Some really high-ranked arena players like Ryan SM7 are in here, and a few others. Cheeto, Nick Donalds. So Potatoes, the usual stream homies are in. So it's really interesting to see everyone's take on range damage. I have been trying to get Repose to do one with me. He's halfway in, halfway out. So hopefully after he sees a couple, he'll come on because that's another really high profile player that is honest about the game and is very non bullshitting when it comes to the state of how ranged combat, true damage, all this stuff works. He doesn't just be facetious for no reason to hold his characters up. So anyway, if you like what you see, we'll do more. I'm probably gonna do at least 10 anyway, maybe 11. But obviously, the more people share it, the more people like it, the more people that would want to come on. So cooler people we get on, bigger it gets. Let me know. Peace.
I'm sure.
Going in, boys.
Next time I employ you not to just outright call people retarded for playing a different way. Wait a minute, bro. Hold up. Pause. So I'm not gonna ban you, bro. But I'm just saying. So you're getting mad that I called you retarded because you wanted to play range damage, but you came in here bitching because I didn't want to play range and I sat on the bottom and turned the lights off. So what standard are we setting here? Are we not calling people names for doing what they want to do? Or are we calling people names for playing different ways? Which one is it, bro? You can't have it both ways. With this variation, physical power bonus, and you still don't one-tap people because they increase the armor curve for all the squishy, bro.
Okay, I have a couple questions I would like to ask because
yes.
I don't want to have a back and forth. There's
That's
always
fine.
The super niches.
Yeah, that's fine.
I could explain my thought process of how I play wizard and how it's a hybrid of range versus melee. I understand there's significant disadvantages whenever you're playing a class technically a max move speed 10 spell wizard should be able to just dismantle any team no matter what. Doesn't matter what the other two characters on your team are. If you have a high move speed 10 spell wizard that knows what he's doing, he'll just fucking shit on any 3-man comp unless it's a double healer comp.
Double healer doesn't really stop that. I don't agree with that either. I think you can easily stop that as long as you have two ranged people doing damage at the same time. You can deal with wizards that are that fast because they don't usually have enough HP. Drag you in. I don't even see you in the. Oh, you're Zeld.
Right, so
you can just get
the questions.
There he is.
The questions I wanted to ask were what do you think are the solutions to this ranged?
Every single class needs to play like Slayer used to play. Every single class needs to have their range damage cut to the ground. All range damage needs to give you a proc so that you can go in and do melee damage. So if you were playing wizard, you would land a spell. Let's say we turn Fire Mastery into a hybrid of Fire Mastery and Melt. You hit somebody with a fireball. They're melted, their armor's reduced for a significant period of time. You get some sort of bonus magic damage on them, and then you go in and you melee. Rangers do the same thing. They have this in Dungeons & Dragons. It's called Hunter's Mark or whatever. You Hunter's Mark somebody by hitting them with ranged combat, and then you attack them with melee. When you think of Ranger, if you think of any sort of Ranger in the ether of the culture of the word Ranger, the thing that comes to my mind is Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. You see that motherfucker using a bow for 40 hours? No! Bro's in there with the sword. He shoots a bow.
Legolas. Wait, hold up.
Yeah, but Legolas is in, and even Legolas is in there with daggers, right? Legolas is okay, you want to make a point about Legolas? Legolas is overpowered, okay? Because all he does is use ranged.
Is it because he has multi-shot?
Yes.
Right?
Because he has multi-shot.
So it's just like one of these things. So Slayer Fighter was the best class design of all time. Okay, it was literally the best. You shoot someone with your crossbow, you go in and you have melee combat. The problem is somebody along the line, some Slayer was like, what if I don't go in and I reload my crossbow and I shoot them again, and then it evolved to why even play Slayer at all? Because as soon as you do, might as well have PD, might as well have plate on. If I'm not gonna go in, might as well have plate.
Okay, wait. I have to ask.
Sorry, I'm back.
So I understand. Like, I'm all for the nerf on range damage. I think there should be damage drop off. There is for bows, but there isn't for spells.
Yeah, but the damage drop off doesn't matter that much because true damage ignores knockoff. True damage needs to remove from the game, period. But that's another conversation. But like this. But here's another thing. Here's another thing.
Wait. I didn't finish it.
Yeah. Okay.
But these balance changes where you like reduce damage like I completely understand that's a good approach, but at the end of the day, like you could in a game where it's like centered around gearing up, always even if it's not true fizz damage, you could do additional fizz damage.
Wait, you cut out. You cut out. So you said in a game that everyone, and then you cut out, and then you said what you said. Repeat that whole point. It's okay.
In a game where the game is inherently unbalanced because people can gear up to spec into any stats, you can always, even if range damage was nerfed to the ground, people are still going to build like 30k kits where their range damage is extremely oppressive. So I understand your point that they should like nerf range damage, but like you have to come up with a different mechanic. And so, for example, this is my solution, because I remember I asked you like, what is your solution for like ranged?
Yeah.
My solution, I think, is a stamina bar. I think it's the number one priority that should happen. Like, in a sense, the devs have mentioned in slightly like, like in very, very, very initial like playtest days, like they mentioned they wanted to add weight, right? But weight is extremely tedious, and so I think they decided against it. But one thing they should add, I think, is stamina, because you can maintain the high damage, right? You can.
Who gets a stamina bar?
Everybody. I don't think it should be extremely excruciating, right? Punishing. But I think that every
stamina for attacking only or for moving? Sorry for interrupting. Stamina for attack. I just want to make sure I understand what the stamina bar is doing. Is it attacking or is it moving or is it both?
I think attacking would be really annoying, but I think it's 100% should be a stamina bar for sprinting. Like, you shouldn't be able to run across the whole map at max speed. Throughout the whole match.
So
I know it's annoying to deal with.
No, I don't care about that.
No way. Yeah.
I don't care about that. So when I blow my stamina bar to walk up to someone that's shooting me with a bow, and I get to him and he has a full stamina bar, how do I catch him?
You don't.
Well,
you would need to tie in shooting a bow to the stamina system. Like, shooting amount of arrows would cost you stamina, so that you're both even on stamina by the time you both collide.
Well,
if that were to be the system.
I think it's like different in arena versus in a match, because like,
yeah, in a match it's different.
You could have a 5-minute chase, and even though it was annoying, it was a 5-minute chase that was necessary. Like that's the challenge.
Yeah,
with attacking the kiting
the arena,
like,
and I don't even
one thing you have to accomplish.
Yeah, I don't really care about arguing.
Yeah,
I don't care about arguing for the regular dungeon anymore, because the regular dungeon, cleric and wizard are slightly less powerful, though they're still the top dogs, because they have to sit and you can get third party. But like, I don't think third party should be the way to solve the meta issue. No matter what happens, the thing is, if you go listen to OnePeg's last video, Boomer OnePeg, who doesn't know what he's talking about, he talks about the damage triangle, okay? Which is like a common thing that people refer to when they want to... Who's talking in chat? Just random person that we played a match against. The damage triangle in situations in this game, which is what everyone is trying to do to balance the game. They don't want people to have the highest health, highest speed, highest damage, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't actually work in this game. Because in most games where you balance with that, everyone is on an equal playing field. But in this game, people aren't on an equal playing field. Because there's two triangles. There's a triangle for the people that are playing melee, and there's a triangle for the people that aren't playing melee. You can't balance the game like that. Caveat. I think, personally, that ranged damage from a ranger and a wizard should do good damage at ranged. I still think they should be incentivized to play melee, but they should be doing damage at range. The problem is like, it's not just that range damage is strong. The problem is I avoid 45 arrows. I get into a melee fight with another one of your teammates. I get hit in the leg, and I'm slow, and I can't engage anymore, and I lose. Or I chase you for 45 minutes. You shoot me once. We get into melee combat, and now I have to contend with the spear, which is better than all my weapons. And then I have to contend with backstep, and then I have to contend with shotgun. If I'm playing against a wizard, I dodge 45 spells. Now I have to contend with 17 magic missiles, which he can clip through my feet, even if I have a shield. I have to make 31 correct plays in a row, and the other person has to make one correct play. The other person can make 25 mistakes in a row. I have to make 0. Now, again, if you take the Odin's position, which is on the he's not a dev, he's like a marketing guy, whatever. If you take Odin's position, which is a completely insane opinion, classes that are more simple to play, not easier, but simple to play, he believes should be just weak, which is just stupid. If you play Smash Brothers, at all, I'm playing Ike or Captain Falcon, a fundamental movement mechanic character.
Well,
and you're playing Minecraft Steve. Wizard is playing Minecraft Steve. Druid is playing fucking Pac-Man.
Off the rails.
He plays Smash. I don't know. I can't.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
I get what you're trying to say.
The point is, I'm playing fundamentals.
Choice.
I'm playing fundamentals, and you guys are like, if you play against that Exile Druid guy in Arena, he isn't even playing the same game that we're playing. Like, he's on Druid, he's not playing the same game. That's my point in general. It's just like the games are completely different.
You're right.
So would you like okay? So Mischief has mentioned like that like when you do get into that close range where people are backstepping and magic missiling, like I completely understand your like you have to do like 10 steps to get to the point where you can 1 to 2 tap someone, but they also have the 1 to 2 tap ability as well. So that's what you're describing.
But even
like,
on the
want.
Oh, you finish your point. You finish your point.
Right, so I was gonna say you want how do you want to decide like how would you design melee versus ranged combat? Do you think it should be like once I'm too close?
Once I'm on top of you, yeah. Once I'm on top of you,
like a 90% non-escape rate from me.
Not necessarily. It should be like this.
Not
Okay, so
that.
here's
You
the
shouldn't be able
thing.
to DPS
Here's
check
the thing, right? One DPS check is a thing. You shouldn't be able to DPS check me once I'm in melee range. The barb weapons are so bad. You can dodge 90% of them for free. Right? When I get into melee combat, you should have to dodge 2 melee hits from me in order for you to escape. No, not even before you go. Just for you to escape or do some sort of action.
Wait, is there no scenario where I do like some damage while you're running towards me and then I can engage in melee? Because that's how I play.
No, you totally can. You totally can.
I pull out the crystal sword all the time.
Yeah, you totally can. But the problem is this: there's 2 problems with that currently with the game. This isn't a class problem. Well, it is a class problem, but it's not really a class problem inherently. The problem is the barb weapons. I'm arguing mainly for me, but it happens for some fighter weapons like halberd and whatever. Take 40 minutes to pull out. It doesn't matter how much dex I built. It takes me 3 out. When I engage a ranger, I dodge 45 arrows. He hits me with 1. We're in melee combat. Before I can pull out my weapon and swing once, he can 3-hit combo me with the spear. In what world am I ever going to kill that guy unless he's a dumbass? The answer is virtually never.
Ranger shits on barbarian with 2-handers now. It's actually insane.
Right? Like, another thing too is like, I'll ask you this question. Just answer honestly, quick, so I know that you're being truthful. Okay? It's not like anything scary. How often when you're playing wizard do you think about sour spotting?
How often when sour spot, like when I'm doing my magic missile?
Anything.
No,
sour spotting in
sour
general.
spotting.
Just the term sour spotting. When you're playing wizard, how often do you think about that?
Well,
The answer is never.
okay.
Never.
I'll answer for you. The answer is never.
Do you know
Now,
what sour spotting is?
Wait. Oh, I have to understand. Like, I think more about sour spotting when I'm in melee combat versus when I'm playing.
Yeah,
like,
but
if I'm casting spells, I'm not thinking about sour spotting because I'm not planning to be that close to a player.
I understand. I understand, but
so
even
it's
when
like by default, I'm not thinking about.
yeah, I know, but I'm just using it to illustrate a point. I understand that, but even when you play wizard and you play melee, you're playing with a rondo dagger. There's no sour spotting. 90% of the classes in this game do not worry or have to think about sour spotting. When I'm playing melee as barb, I have to think of 7 different things. I have to dodge all projectiles. Okay, I have to.
Wait, I need to pause. There is like I constantly think about sour spotting. Like my melee choice weapon. Like I only play Rondell Wizard in arenas because of like
Yeah, I understand for Crystal Sword and stuff like that.
The
It does
lack
happen.
of sour spotting. I literally like this is just like my theory of how to play or how I choose to play. But I will doesn't matter that there is staff mastery. I will choose a Crystal Sword over the staff 99% of the time.
Yeah, because the Crystal Sword's inherently a better weapon. Well, it's just inherently a better weapon.
Yeah, like it's a way like you get the poke and the second two swings have no sour spots, right? So there is a consideration of sour spotting. Like I choose the weapons that don't have sour spots. Like you could do that the same with the barb, right?
Yeah, but
So,
there's
like,
no
if you
weapon
don't
on
wanna get
barb that has no sour
no.
spot,
But
except for
when you fight a rogue as a barb, right? The number one thing that you're thinking about is like, okay, I can either two tap him with my double axe and potentially miss, or I could switch to my one hander and
get
hit way more
DPS checked.
shots.
You
And
get DPS.
you can't use one hander in
Okay, I don't
anything.
play barb, so
Yeah, well, I see. This is the
There's
point I'm
no
making.
way.
This is the point I'm making. Okay, I make this point all the time. The people
Okay,
that are
yeah.
arguing for ranged damage don't play melee only classes. That is the problem. The game doesn't have a dev. Well, it kind of has it does have a dev problem, but the game doesn't have a dev problem per se. The game has a community doesn't play X class problem, so they think that their class is balanced. No, it's like when someone's playing like Lee Sin mid in League of Legends. I don't even play League of Legends, okay? No one who plays that character mid thinks that character is overpowered until they kill everybody and then they think, oh, well, I did it because of my skill, not because my character's overpowered, right? It's the same sort of mechanic. Anyone that plays like a stealthy character, it does this all the time. When you play Skyrim, another analogy, and I'll get to my main point. When you play Skyrim, how come every single person in Skyrim, when they make the playthrough, ends up playing a Hyde Ranger with a fucking longbow from across the map? Because the game doesn't incentivize you to play melee. This game doesn't do that either. There's no incentive to play melee. Ever. Literally ever, unless you're playing Barb. My point is, when I engage you in melee, I have to think about dodging 40 projectiles and getting in. I have to know when to press my skill because all of my skills, except for like Savage Roar, kill me. They just straight up make me worse. They kill me. I put on rage, I lose. Then I have to think about, am I going to sour spot? Then I have to think about, if this guy's playing near any object, am I going to hit the fucking wall and spend 4 hours writing Santa Claus a letter to reset my weapon? And then I have to think about, well, does that guy's weapon just straight up win a duel if he just DPS checks me if I don't have Rage Reckless and do 1 billion damage? I have to think about all those things, and the other player's thinking about, I need to do damage to this barbarian, he's chasing me.
Okay, well, okay, there's a couple things I want to argue real quick, or mention. I think the role of, okay, first of all, the big arching question I want to ask you is, like, how would you make melee great again?
Yeah, it's very simple. All you have to do is make all the range damage non-existent. You cut basically 90% of the range damage. You cut all of its damage down. The only classes that should do range damage should be Wizard with a few spells, not Fireball, a few spells. Ranger, using specific ranged weapons. The Serve Bow should not be doing hardly any damage at range. Neither should the Recurve Bow. The only weapon that should be doing range damage is like Longbow, Crossbow, and all that stuff. All Armor Pen needs to be removed from all range damage. There should be no pen. True damage should not exist on ranged weapons
I would agree with
or
that
magic.
thing. I think you're still going to encounter a ranged meta if there's still strong ranged options. Like
Yeah, but that's I get that. And then
it's
all the
mitigated.
characters that have ranged options that aren't specifically the Ranger or the Wizard should just not have them. In no world should a fighter have any access to any longbow weapon, any bow at all. Only crossbow, and crossbow should have no armor pen. Bard should have no ranged options whatsoever at all. There should be no crossbow on Bard. The only thing on Bard that you should be able to do at range is you should be able to play some sort of song that does like a projectile that functions the same as Dark Bolt.
Or throw a drum.
Or throw drums.
You know what to fix all this? Remove true damage.
True damage fixes a
Reduce
lot of problem
all the
too.
Damages by 4. Get rid of true.
True
Well,
damage.
I understand the true damage is OP, but you have to understand, like, I could just add a bunch of additional damage. And this goes to your
Yeah, but then-
fireball,
yeah.
And then my splash on my fireball does just as much as
Yeah, that's a,
Like, I was just gonna say, that's not a true damage problem.
No,
It's an additional damage.
but that's
regardless.
but that's infinitely more. That's infinitely better than true damage because first of all, when you have add damage, I literally get to use my resistances. So the fireball does significantly less damage. Second off, add damage, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, also applies when you do out of range damage when you get the damage drop off, it also applies to add damage. So I don't think that that's the true damage and the add damage thing is like a non-argument.
Add damage is also affected by limb shot multipliers as well too.
No,
So,
the limit
you know.
multipliers I get, but I'm just saying like if I have enough add damage, right, and magic power bonus, right?
Yeah.
And it negates your magic res. It's not like
Not really. No.
No,
It doesn't negate.
It's affected by magic res, but you do more damage. Like you technically do more damage than you would as a base character, but you still are affected by resistances and limbs.
And the other common argument for playing melee, which is what Mischief said, I'll let Mischief go on his rant in a second, is just use a shield, bro. And just use a shield doesn't do anything. Like, I mean, it literally, in fact, it actually kind of griefs me. Because when I have a shield out, I am significantly slower for moderate, maybe RNG protection. If somebody is smart enough, they just shoot my feet and they do true damage. If it's add damage, it's the same thing. So it doesn't do anything for me, but make me slower.
Also, let me hop in on that too, since I pretty much only use the shield on Barb. So I definitely know that
You can
kind of
join
shit
anytime
for
you want,
sure.
Nick, bro.
The huge problem with that, with a shield, is it's so good at protecting your head and some of your body, but you might think, like, as a player, you could just aim down, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I'm aiming at my feet.
Crashing.
They can't shoot me in the legs anymore. They can't shoot me in the feet anymore.
Yeah.
But that not only exposes your head, a lot of people don't know this, it also exposes your legs and your feet, even though you're aiming down. You can still, you can't actually cover your legs and your feet in this game.
Yeah,
Which is a
the
huge
only
problem
good
with
shield is the
shields in general.
Pavis and maybe the heater shield. Like, I completely understand that. Like
Yeah, so
as
it's
a wizard,
like, he
as a
takes his
wizard, when I
shield out,
see-
he
when I see
aims
stuff-
down.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And he's exposing his head and his legs at the same time by aiming down. And it's like, okay, so what do? You can't guard your body with the shield, so what do you actually do?
Even
Well,
on
I think
top
that's
of
the problem
that.
with. I think that goes. Wait. I just want to say that goes back to a problem with like Fireball specifically. I think if Fireball was removed from Wizard's kit, like shields would be insanely strong.
Nope.
Explosion? What?
Explosion is literally. Here's another thing.
no.
Explosion is.
with the
Lightning
shield.
strike, explosion,
You
chain
can't block
lightning,
lightning
wait,
strike.
zap around a shield. That was
You can,
a blatantly
but
wrong
there are
sentence.
built-in mechanics to dodge lightning strike. You can jump the lightning strike.
Yeah,
Alright,
but-
I'm positive
You
SDF
cannot
just-
jump
yeah,
lightning
we
strike
can
anymore.
jump
They
around
changed
You
that.
can't jump it anymore. They changed it.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. I did not know
Even
that. Please,
even
please
if
do.
even if that's the case,
Please.
even
I mean, I'm
that.
just saying,
Yeah,
like, you're gonna have the
man.
opinion, but you don't know, like,
Alright.
sound a
Even
little
if-
ignorant.
like even
Oh,
if
go
that's
ahead.
the I'll just say one more thing. Even if that's the case, it still doesn't matter because the thing is, the shield doesn't block you from anything in melee range. If you get magic missile in melee range, you literally clip through the shield, and I can't block it if you shoot my feet. And it's an instant kill melee ability, which is why I could not believe that Seb would go on the podcast and say, I wasted all my 10 spells on a barbarian and I didn't kill him. What the fuck? Barb OP. Now, he didn't say that
No one heard
specifically.
him say that. The
Didn't-
fact no one heard him say that and didn't say
No one
Seb,
checked him is
skill
crazy.
gap, skill issue.
Which
If
is
you
a bit
can't
weird
kill
because
a
he
guy with 10
plays.
magic
I-
missiles,
Barb.
I've been
you're
blocking-
bad.
I've been shield blocked my MM. So
Yeah, but you have to look at
Yeah,
the
of
feet.
course.
You have to
straight
look at the
jump and
feet.
cast
If
it
you-
again, though.
You have to put your hand
Yeah, I
down
can
to
cast
where
that
they
again.
can't
I
actually
can cast
clip
that
it.
again. But that is 100% like that person has to be running arcade mastery to be able to shoot two strip like. Two
No,
No,
no.
no, you just
Straight
need
jump.
knowledge. Not only that, another thing that really bothers me about the wizard matchup specifically, but it also applies to all of the skills or perks that are like this, is like, so here's the average wizard engagement for me, okay? I dodge 40 projectiles. I finally close the gap. He magic missiles because that's what every single wizard player does. I block it. He immediately recognizes that I'm blocking his thing. He shoots at my feet. Okay, I trade my one Viking sword hit. Ice shield procs. I'm dead.
Yep. And then he talks
Also,
and
the-
he magic missiles again, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
and to
even
defend,
if you talk
to
like the
defend
next
Seb
level,
there
right?
though, is Seb does actually say magic missiles is incredibly stupid.
Yeah, he did
does
say
Yes,
it shouldn't do
I-
PvP
yes.
damage.
Yes, I agree with him on that, and that is the caveat. So to defend him is like fair there. Like
Absolutely, absolutely. I do think an important thing to mention when we're talking shields, magic missiles is like, when you're talking really high level play, the best thing is to stuff the cast, right? And if you stuff the cast with a shield, you can get one swing. But then ice armor proc, so you have the minus action speed. So now you need to follow the wizard, stuff his next cast of magic missiles. But this one you can't punish because you have the minus action speed. You can't punish with a swing. Because if you try and block, you'll eat the
I don't
magic
know,
The
missile.
caster can b-hop. They can b-hop
Exactly.
sideways and keep doing
Yeah.
it.
B-hop,
So I have
straight
to
shot.
read his b-hop
We're mentioning-
and block it. Like,
we're
I'm talking
mentioning-
about a level of play that's so much higher than you are right now.
we're mentioning too many problems at once. I think it's important.
Well, it's good to hit on shield problems, though. To be honest with you.
Yeah, no,
Shields do
100%.
have a lot of problems.
I agree. But like, there are plenty of times where like someone blocks me and I get slowed. Like, if you block the MM, like just specifically on this scenario, like if you block the MM and you hit me once, like I could be hop, but I'm already at like half move speed because I got hit. So it's like
No.
Every combat situation is like slightly different, and every type of engagement is slightly different. It depends if you have a falchion in your hand where it's easy to hit someone, or if you're using a different weapon.
Yeah,
so,
but
like if you guys want to
just
nitpick, if you guys want to nitpick like specifically like certain matchups, I understand that you could think of
well, I'm talking
Ice
about range
Shield is
damages in a
strong.
whole, but like what you said there is wrong. When I hit you with a Viking sword or a one-handed weapon that works with shield, you are not slowed by any move speed that matters. None of it matters. You can just walk away from a Viking sword.
Yeah, but I'm not max speed. You know that, right? I'm not max.
Yeah, but that's
speed
not.
for
But
after
I
get
understand
hit.
that. But that's a you
Maybe
problem.
not you personally, but like that's
That's a your
the
build
wizards we
problem.
play against are like that.
Yeah.
Also, I should mention too, for the magic missile thing, even though I can technically mostly stuff the majority of wizards, hit them once, stuff them again, hit them once, stuff them again, I'll probably beat the majority of wizards. The really high level wizards, they aim down to your feet to where even if you aim down with your shield, you can't stuff their hand.
Exactly.
It's literally
Like
impossible to
80%.
stuff their hand.
Yep.
And then,
80% missiles.
and then even on top of that, like, okay, the thing
wait,
that
I-
the thing that's we're trying to discuss range damage as a whole, and I know we're nitpicking like certain matchups, but all the ranged to melee matchups function the same way. The problem isn't just that they're doing damage at range. The problem is they can also just straight up box my class in melee. Every single bard can stat check my class.
Yeah.
Think about this for a second. A bard plays a tune, and his whole team gets a skill that I have, and my skill costs me 19 HP minimum.
Like on God, go to like most characters, like longbow with a shotgun or magic missiles, and try to swing a two-hander twice and see how fast you die. You'll be like, holy shit, what's
No,
happening?
It's like an
I think
agency thing.
I think that's a problem with like high gear.
No,
it
it's a
is.
problem at all
Like that-
levels, but I mean,
It
it,
is.
it,
No,
functions
I
somewhere.
promise you, I have to play the game completely different as wizard when I'm in normals versus in gear.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't-
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that's
if you try to magic missile me in low gear 25s and I have a two-hander, I'm probably one-shotting you. So it's,
Yeah,
it's fine,
exactly,
but, like,
exactly.
yeah, but
So,
but
like,
so
there's a
are we
gear issue.
balancing the game for like no gear players?
This is a
No,
great
it's
question.
more.
I think
His point
I
is
think
more so that the gear is just so like insanely
Overwhelming, but
scaled
yeah.
on certain characters. Like it just scales like bard to infinity. It scales wizard to
Bard, wizard,
infinity.
cleric.
It's just
100%.
yeah, and cleric
I
as
think
well. It's
that's
just
a-
way too much.
I think it's a flaw. But like this is exactly why I think there should be instead of any balance changes being made because like the game is inherently unbalanced via gear, right? You need to
Right.
add mechanics that introduce balance. So for example, like when I mentioned earlier, I'm talking about stamina. Like yes, you'll have to fucking spend 3 minutes chasing down like a wizard, right?
Okay.
But if you survive that engagement, you will be rewarded by the fact that the wizard has no stamina.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Now
No.
okay, so there's two things that are wrong with that. One, I have to spend stamina to get in. When I get in, he has stamina. I don't. He runs away. Two, I don't care about the fucking balance of the game. To be perfectly honest with you, like really, I do, but I don't. I care about is the game fun. At no point in the game am I gonna chase anybody for 3 minutes and have fun. It will never be fun. I will never have fun. I could kill 1,000 people a game. I could kill every person in the lobby. If I kill every player in the lobby and I collect 20 violas, if I have to spend 20 minutes chasing them to get it, I'm not playing the game. It's not
don't
fun.
take it personal, Poloni,
you.
at all. Like literally, don't take it personal. It's
Yeah, I
literally
won't take
we're
it
never
personal.
talking about the players when we say stuff like this. It's literally just the design of the game. Like we get a map. And like me and him used to play double barb, and we would just be
Holy
fucking
fuck.
chasing people for literally like 5 minutes.
Like that was
straight.
remember that game we played that warlock we played. We chased 2 warlocks for 40 minutes,
God.
and then I finally have to box him, and he hits me 3 times and almost kills me, and I hit him 3 times, and he goes, "Wow, dude, real skill, bro. You really showed your skill, man. Playing barb. I chased you for 45 minutes, and then you chose to engage me in melee and lost, and you almost won. What
Yeah.
the fuck are we playing?
Wait, can I ask y'all something?
Okay,
It's
so
an agency thing, right? Like he
Wait,
had the
can I ask
agency.
something real quick?
Yes.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what do y'all think of the bunny hopping shit in the game?
I think it needs to be removed as a ranged
should be
player. You guys
removed.
do
It's
that.
actually so cancer.
Yeah, Warlock is just 1v3ing everybody and getting away with it.
I don't think it's good. You know?
Yeah,
But
it's
I have
not
to
good.
say, like, there can't be like every scenario where you chase someone that it wasn't rewarding when you caught them. Like the first time I chased a druid around the dungeon was some of the most fun I had in the game.
That's
So, but
something.
I think inherently when you're playing a melee class, your whole like role is to chase people down. Am I not right?
Every single class
Like,
has chased everybody. Anyone that runs away uses their agency to run away, and you have to chase no matter what. But the thing is, the chase for a wizard is I had to chase 2 feet forward to cast my range damage. The chase for me is I have to chase 45 minutes, close the gap, dodge all the melee instant kill abilities, box you, and almost lose.
Like, you have agency on me to control the engagement in range, and when I finally get to melee range, you have buttons that give you more agency in melee range than anything I can do too. Like,
And we're just speaking about wizard right here because wizard does have
I
a
mean,
lot of
it's
detail.
ranger also, it's bard also. They both kind of fighter. You could even argue they all the range classes operate in the same way, where they're exerting their agency in the game over you as a melee player, where you
Okay.
can't do anything. And then when you get in melee range, they have competitive tools that they can use to still compete with you. They have
That's
more options that are better all the time.
That's why I was really mad at Toddfather, okay? Toddfather said, and I quote, the two-hander perk, when it got buffed, shouldn't exist because it's a direct counter to the thing, the class that's supposed to be the class counter to Barb. Except for every single class in the game has an ability that's a direct counter to the thing that's a counter to them. You could wager that Rogue and Barbarian are counters to Ranger, but Ranger has a direct ability to beat them. It's called Backstep and Shotgun, or Backstep and Spear. Wizard is the same thing. I close the gap on Wizard. He has a tool to instantly kill me. I fight a fighter. Finally, I get to have melee combat with this cunt, and he pulls out a longsword, and I have to drag my fucking hit 30 times while he tanks all my damage, and if I get one parry on me, I'm immediately dead.
Yeah. I also think like the parry shouldn't even be just let me hold the parry out. I don't know a single game where you can just hold the parry out. In front of someone's face, wait for them.
They're trying to
That is
change.
kinda true,
They're
but
kind
they're
of
still
they're trying to
you know what I
they're
mean?
trying to change that. But like even like someone that you would think that doesn't have like quote unquote range damage like a cleric. Finally, I catch the cleric. I get judgmented. I can't see. I'm so slow that I might as well uninstall the game.
Or he sinks in your face while you do a 3-hit combo.
Yep,
He's
he just
still
sinks in my
alive.
face. I 3-hit combo him with Reckless Rage, and he lives. Interesting.
Okay, I just want to go
Which
back
is
to one of
another
my
gear
questions.
scaling thing, by the way. Gear scaling is just fucking disgusting in this game. You
Gear
can't do that
scaling-
with
Absolutely,
25s.
absolutely.
Gear scaling is atrocious. But I want to ask the question I asked earlier again because I think you have to make multiple changes. You mentioned my question is, how do you make melee great again, right? And you mentioned about like reducing range damage, and I mentioned that.
But yeah, but that's not it. But
compensate
that
with
no, but that's
gear.
not it. But that's not it. It's not just reducing range damage. If you just reduce range damage, the problem still persists
Then
because
melee's OP, yeah.
either melee becomes OP or if you reduce range damage, you just get kited ad infinitum. You have to force people to melee. You force people to
Yep.
melee by making them do on-hit effects that increase their melee damage. You hit me with a zap, the next 3 attacks you do extra fire damage to me. You hit me with a bow on Ranger, now you've applied Hunter's Mark on me, and your next 3 melee hits do extra damage. You want to force people to engage in melee.
Incentivize. Yeah, okay, I got you.
So
You could do this,
you can
too.
incentivize them, but they're still going to play the kite game and run
Yeah,
away.
I was gonna
from
say,
you.
like,
They're gonna do what gains them favor.
Yeah, like, what's
Like,
your typical percentage of? You think every engagement should end in a melee brawl? Like, what if like everybody
No,
had
what
their
if I
last
just-
HP?
I want to say all
melee.
of them. No, I would say like here's the following list of people I think should like consider melee a thing, and their range should be mostly focused around slowing a target or like very minor poke. Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, Druid, Fighter, Rogue, Warlock is a hybrid, and then the only 2 true ranged classes that shouldn't even have really solid up close options like Shotgun or Magic Missile would be Ranger and Wizard. Those should be the range classes. The other 6 should literally just be melee
Sorcerer
classes.
as well.
And I guess eventually Sorcerer, sure. 3 out of the 6, you know, I mean, 3 ranged, 6 melee. The game would be fine. Like it's like if one guy pelts you with an arrow, you're not going to cry about it.
Like if you go watch any of the streams that the people are playing like high level trios, the same shit happens. It's infinite poke, frontline wizard, bard, cleric, and then the cleric just fucking puts earthquake down and your team is dead. That's the engagement.
I mean,
I'm
because
sorry.
if I'm
wait,
fighter, I'm doing like 50 damage longbow shots or crossbow shots, or if I'm bard, I'm doing like 50 plus damage body shots with a crossbow. It's like, why would I ever look to stab someone for 50 something damage when I could just shoot them from across the map.
And you're saying
Yeah,
that
I mean-
about classes that can use Demon's Glee. Imagine saying that as a class who can't use that. Like,
Well, look,
Exactly, yeah, it's like
Do you think I should be allowed to one-shot across the map? With
it seems like the
range?
dev solution is going to be to eventually just give Barb range damage, like a bola slinger that also does damage, and they're just going to sit there reloading it over and over instead
Yeah,
of
that's what I
actually
told
engaging
Retro
in
the
melee.
other day. I told him about the bowler. I was like, what if they had the bowler or something? He was talking
During-
about the mid-range or something like that and how it's not going
Bro.
to do much. Or,
No, it
or
probably
whatnot.
won't.
I'm telling you, it's the future. They get a bola, they sit there reloading it over and
That's
over
actually-
for poke damage, they just never do melee
I
until
think
the
the
guy's low.
alternative's worse, isn't it? It's Barb gets leap, right? And we enter like the mobility creep era of the game.
Which is
with,
also
like,
stupid.
and
Fuck
things
it,
like
bro.
that,
Druid,
which is
Druid
gonna
could
be,
already do that.
Yeah,
bro.
that's what I
Druid could
mean.
already
No,
do
no, no,
that.
but like everyone hates Druid, right? But now
True,
Barbarian's
true.
doing it to you. Now Monk is doing it to you. Like that's gonna be really frustrating for people to play against. Like, oh, I played Wizard and this guy barrel rolled from 2 modules away, running on the wall into me, Fists of Furying. Like, it's the same vibe.
This is exactly. Sorry, I don't mean to push this change, but this is exactly why I think stamina should be in the game, and not just in like a raw. Everyone has the equal stamina bar. I think it should be something you spec into. Like I was playing Elden Ring, and they have like endurance, right? And that becomes like a huge impact in the game because you have to like you can't. There's certain fights where like you need extra blocking power, right? You need extra like rolls, right? Or extra.
Yeah, I agree with you to an extent, but like again, what's stopping the wizard from playing like the wizard currently plays, where I just build a 150 HP, I build no stamina, I build max damage, and I just stand there like a jackass?
Well, that it wouldn't work with wizard because you can't build a high stamina wizard, a high knowledge wizard, and a high damage wizard. Like
Yeah, but you don't need
a high
stamina.
HP wizard.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
Why
but you
would
don't need
build
you
stamina
don't need
if
you don't need
stand
stamina.
still
It's the same
to
thing.
magic missiles anyway.
You just
No,
think
no,
about
but
think
you-
about how
you-
CNG plays
but
the
if you-
game, right?
But if
See,
you sorry to interrupt you.
That's
I
fine.
really apologize.
no, it's okay.
If I have a wizard who specs with like 1/3 less stamina than a barb, then the long chase becomes rewarding for the melee player.
Yeah, but there's no chase. There will never be. Okay, whenever you think about range damage, just think about how wizards used to play, and then think about what happened when CNG put a video saying, "Hey, dumbasses, don't build move speed. Build 150 HP, stand there like a Chad, and press magic missile." That's what's going to happen. Now, if you add both those changes at the same time, where magic missile just randomly stops doing damage, and then stamina, like I get it, but it still doesn't make any sense because there's two different things that are happening. Either all that happens is you build stamina and I build stamina. I run at you with my stamina after you do 1,000,000 damage to me at range, and then I catch you, and then you use your full stamina bar to run away. Or you don't build stamina and you do 1,000,000 damage and I get you, but I built stamina instead of damage, so I can never kill you. I can't have
need
all three
stamina
things.
to
I see what
be-
you're saying.
You would literally
That's
make
what we
stamina. I could fix it for all of you. It literally would just be. I don't think it's a good mechanic, but you add stamina to literally every class universally, and spinning your stamina on ranged attacks would be a thing, and moving your character with stamina would be a thing, affected differently. But you would just basically get together with both no stamina if that's the way it works out. Like you wouldn't. I don't think it's a good
Stamina
system.
bar goes
If you're
out.
on
You think you
distance,
should
right?
just move slower?
Also,
Yeah, I mean, the
interjection.
dude approaches you for his stamina, and the other dude shoots you with arrows for his stamina, and then you just
Yeah,
walk
I
next
don't
to
see
each
how
other. I
it's
guess I don't
fundamentally
know.
different,
but-
right?
Also,
Well,
So it's like
I'm
yeah,
trying.
I
I'm
mean-
trying to eliminate like the you have to chase them for 8 minutes and
But-
reduce
whoa,
it to chase
yeah,
them
but-
for 4 minutes.
yeah, but there
I
should
get
be
the idea,
there
just
should
I
be
just
no
think it's, like, the
chasing
best
at
idea
all.
in the
There should be
world,
no chasing for 40 minutes. Period. If I have to chase someone for more than a minute, the game is cooked. Also,
Yeah,
interjection.
mechanic, bro.
Also, interjection. Ryan, SM7 for the chat, bro. You told me 3 days ago to build 50% fist power so I could two-shot rangers. I did it. It doesn't work. Just so you're aware, it doesn't work. By the way, you lied.
We did
I
it.
watched it.
Test
That's
that.
true. It sucked.
That
You
may work
lied.
in dungeons,
It doesn't
but that
work.
shit does not work in arena, bro. We tested 100% armor pin, high fizz power in arenas, and bro, people do not get one shot, bro. It is not
Man,
working.
dude.
They don't even get two-shot half the time. And even if you use the highest damage weapon, which is the battle axe, it doesn't work.
Bro, post me your videos because we can't figure it out. I don't even know. It seems like most of the dudes we fight in arena are like, it takes 2 shots no matter what you do.
Here's another test, right? You click the leaderboard of arena, sort by barbarian, look at all the people in Warlord. There's 11 of them. Half of them stopped playing. They boosted their account and then stopped playing.
Harry's up
Interesting.
there.
Arena.
Harry
Yeah,
still plays.
Harry still plays, and he's up there. And Harry plays in like a super tryhard mega stack. So I mean,
He does, but
but he's still up there. Walprug, his kid, stopped playing. Kimchi stopped playing. What's his name? Fucking Todd Father got to like 2400. Stop playing. Afu Baba. I don't think that guy plays anymore. Like all these people just stop playing the class because it's cringe.
It's not fun.
Post your
because you have to interact with the not fun part of the game.
Post your kit, bro.
I have to ask. Okay, this is kind of like changing topics, but I have a hot take that I would like to discuss with you. Are you guys open to it?
I mean, sure. Go say what you gotta say, bro.
I think Cleric is balanced and good for the game.
Okay. That explains why you argued the way you argued the entire time.
Whoa. No. I think there is the fact that they added a character. Like, I think he should definitely be tuned down, specifically PDR-wise, but I think that they added a character that is supposed to, like, is purely like a support, or can be purely a support.
Needs a whole lot more.
Can I take a crack at this one, actually, real quick?
Yep,
go ahead.
Can I talk, like, just in terms of, like, general game design, right? We're talking about a class who, in its current form, its entire game plan, right, is to sacrifice its own agency and to play vicariously through someone else. When you're playing Cleric, you're not playing Cleric, right? You're healing someone else so they get to play what they are more. That's kind of like an inherent, like, bad game design thing when you, like, think and look at other games. Like, it's like a Yuumi League of Legends type situation, right? And then that's, like, not even touching on the fact of, like, we already addressed Judgment, Holy Strike, Earthquake, these big, powerful zone control CC tools, which it should have access to. But it's when you have those in combination with a class that's giving up agency to increase someone else's, it's not, like, fun to be on the receiving end. If I'm playing Barbarian without a Cleric, I'm one Barbarian. If I'm playing Barbarian against Fighter Cleric, I'm playing one Barbarian against 1.5 fighters. That's hard in BIS situations. It's fucked.
Yes, but it has, like, just from like a strategy point, you have to understand if a Cleric has his book out, right? He immediately loses. It's like one less DPS on that team, right? Even though he has agency to help with the fight, like that is technically one less DPS.
Wait, I have a question for you, real quick. Okay.
Yeah.
Answer truthfully. Are you secretly SDF?
Are you SDF?
Because SDF and you both believe that Cleric does no damage.
No, I don't think he does no damage, bro. I'm just saying, like a person with a longbow, right, does like 2x the amount of damage per fight than a Cleric with his book out. Even if he does Earthquake, Holy Strikes, and Judgment, right? Like, you still are doing less damage than a Ranger that shoots and hits 10 arrows.
But you're doing CC and enabling your damage to do 1.5 times, theoretically, like, damage. Like, you're not a half of a class, you're 0.75 of a class, and making someone else 1.5 of a class.
If not two.
That's fair.
And you're also still ignoring my game design standpoint of, like, when you play Cleric, this is why people don't really like playing Cleric, is because you give up agency to control a fight to make someone else stronger. It's just inherently not a fun game design standpoint for a majority of people. That's why people don't play healers in other games. And we see it in this game where it needs to be drastically overtuned for people to look at it.
Well, I think Cleric has majority of the agency in the fight. Like, the second you have the Cleric on your team, because you have one less DPS, majority of, like, if the decisions and, like, the result of, like, if you will win this fight is dependent on if the Cleric hits his heals, hits his CCs. Like, it's not like a brain dead class.
I mean, some people like playing healer. And
yeah, absolutely.
You know, they actually get off on just keeping their teammate alive for some reason, which is kind of crazy.
When you say things like, the Cleric has to hit his spells, do you not believe that me, the Barbarian, has to hit my swings? What do you think I'm doing when the Cleric is hitting his spells? Do you think I'm just, like, shoving my fist in my ass or something? Like,
No. I'm just saying that it's like, it's not like the Cleric, like, unlike Druid, right, doesn't just hit an AoE spell that automatically, like, dude, like, you could argue, like, this is Ken Kenobi's one gripe with Cleric is Sanctuary. There's nothing else he says is OP about fucking Cleric. He says Sanctuary is the one thing that needs to be tuned, because healing that much to multiple people with no skill expression of, like, having to aim at someone is a problem. But every other aspect of Cleric has a skill base where you have to aim, right? There's like, you are sacrificing. True, but, like, you have to stand still, so you're technically you have to eat a shot.
Yeah, we get.
Like there is downsides to Earthquake.
Yeah, we get that, but the problem is when you say it like that, what you're implying is that other people, while the Cleric is quote unquote having to land his skill shot, the other people aren't also doing the exact same thing. Just because one class is quote unquote landing a heal doesn't mean that the other classes in the game aren't also doing something. Like I have to swing around
Landing
shields,
things, yeah.
hit my weapon, not sour spot. The rogue has to get in behind, use his spells. The wizard has to. Everyone is doing some sort of skilled mechanic, if you want to call this game skill at all. Like everyone is doing some sort of aiming. Everyone's doing something. It's not just like the caster classes are the only people that are like playing the game. Like when you say things like, yeah, but the cleric has to aim his hits. Well, everyone has to aim their hits.
Yeah, everyone has to aim. It's true.
Yeah, but like the plus minus on like hitting it versus missing it is the reason your teammate dies. Like if I fucking miss a big heal,
Wait.
like my teammate might die.
If I miss my
So
Bardi
true,
shit,
but
if I
think
miss
about it
my
the
Bardi
opposite
shit,
way,
I'm
where
dead.
If we miss our hits,
Yeah, okay.
the person
that's fair.
doesn't die, and then because they don't die, they wipe
So
our
is it-
team.
So is it the problem that like if the person that I'm giving the power to is allowed to miss a hit and I let him keep him alive, that's a problem?
It's just the amount of life bars that you provide to another person. Because I play cleric too, so I understand it. It's like it's really just the amount that it scales and how many life bars you can continually give to the same target over
I think
and
it's
over and
deeper than
over.
that too. It's the amount of options you enable that target to
that too.
utilize. Like you're allowing that. Like wizard can't stand in front and magic missiles point blank if there's not a cleric. That's an option
Right,
that is
exactly.
now granted to him. That he now
Like if
gains.
I'm wailing on that wizard as a barbarian and I can't one-shot him,
You're
as a
fucking
player,
dead.
then I'm just
Just
going to
dead.
keep that wizard alive. It's like the barbarian swinging a two-hander, getting magic missiled. The other guy's getting pocketed for like fucking insane heals back to back to back. And it's like unless the barbarian can live through my 4 holy lights and then us backing up into double sync into several lessers, it's like I mean, it's such a
have,
huge difference. It's
I
like
have
9 life
something to
stars.
As Ray's designated fucking boxer cleric, I need to say something. Cleric
The
is-
real cleric, bro.
Cleric literally beats every class in 1v1 if you fucking can box them. Outside of Ranger. Like,
That's crazy.
if you get the
Judgment
box
with Holy
match.
Strike with shield,
Preach,
like bro, you can
preach.
beat pretty much any class. And actually, I think the barbarian and the cleric, it's equally important that they hit their shots. Because say like a barbarian misses 3 in a row, like you're gonna use all your heals to heal them, but then that's it. You know, they're just gonna keep hitting you, and then you know, if the cleric misses his spells, the barbarian's just dead instantly because he's got 2 people on him. So that's like equally important. But yeah, saying
Also,
cleric
to-
does no damage is ridiculous. Judgment literally half helps people, and he can be full PDR. Which is
To
literally
add on
broken.
the
Yeah, my
sorry.
issue is the PDR.
To add on to Urban's
100%.
point though, real quick. Let me just add on to Urban's point, and then I'll let you say it. But
Yeah, go ahead.
onto his point, the other part of cleric that's really fun to play with is when you earthquake someone and you have like double ranged. If you earthquake a single
Or
target
wizard?
and he gets, yeah, exactly. So you earthquake someone, they get direct fireballed and shot by like a like a longbow or whatever. Bro, that guy's fucking
GG.
done. That guy's
GG.
gone. That is not just healing either. That is me CCing someone that can't move their character anymore.
And
All right, do you guys want to talk about the damage or the agency or the healing?
Well, I mean, it's
Because
not just
I think-
it's not just
Just
one
the
point
agency and
though, the
healing.
problem.
It's just the other things with it make it so strong.
I wanted
Yeah.
to get on the range topic for the longest because I think that
Right.
there's been a big, we need to. I mean, I've heard Retro say we need to just half it completely, just all range damage together. And I honestly think that the problem lies within like the whole kiting issue as well. Like it's not just the range damage to the person that's doing the range damage to you. And a big problem lies with just what kind of utility you have to even close the gap. Because it's not just a range damage issue, it's a what can my class do to get on top of this person to kill them issue.
No, I totally agree. That's why I talk about that's
agree
why
with most of
I
that,
always
but-
make the analogy to Smash, because in Smash it's like any fighting game in general, he who has the most options wins 90% of the time. That's really what it comes down to. It comes down to options you have to engage. If you have more options, the more likely you are to win a fight.
And that's why we need Boulder Slinger. All right, we can wrap it up.
True.
All right.
Give me
So-
leave. Let's go.
if they
Can
get,
I
like,
explain
rogue
how you fix
slide-
cleric?
Yes, please.
me?
Clerics,
Oh, I love
clerics heals. Okay. When you heal
Double
somebody,
skill?
they get a stack debuff. So when the next incoming heal that happens, it could be like 50% reduced healing.
Diminishing
Something
returns.
along those
Yeah.
lines.
A lot of people mention
Nope,
that too.
Nope. The reason why that doesn't work is because you have anti-heal as well. So your second spell will literally do 0 healing. If
No,
you
it wouldn't. It wouldn't stack. It wouldn't stack like that.
I think the main.
It wouldn't stack like that. So they would have. So you would get 50% of their heal, and the anti-heal would stop 50% of whatever is incoming from that heal. So you would only. So let's say you get healed for 100, and then the other stack knocks it down to 50. If the anti-heal is 50%, then you're only getting healed 25 HP, not 50.
Also, keep in mind.
I think that's
not bullshit.
I think that's what he's. I think
in mind,
he
you
doesn't.
can literally just you can nerf anti-heal as well.
Yeah, you could also nerf anti-heal, but there needs to be a stack mechanic to where if a cleric is spam healing you, you should be getting less and less healing every single time he heals you. Because the spam heal is the problem.
Do you believe that it should be it should be per heal, or do you believe it should be a total, like any source of healing? What I mean with that is like, what's to stop my cleric from hitting me with a lesser, then a holy, then a sank, then a lesser, then a holy, then a sank?
Oh no! I think it should be.
I can't even lie.
I think
I
it
don't
should
even
be
think that's
per
that bad.
character. I don't think it should be per spell, like the type of spell. I think
like
it's
a
like
character debuff or something.
Yeah, like a character debuff. Like this person in my party gets the debuff from this other person.
And also, I actually don't even think that's bad if someone has to swap between their heals because they want to
that's
change
more
the
skill
debuffs.
expression. Yeah.
And it also would not even be that much healing anyway. I would
But the heal debuff would just work for all incoming healing.
Yeah, I think that's how it should be though. It's just you get a
because it already swaps between
output.
healing too, because lesser heals cast faster. So like
swapping between healing would
light or lesser.
Also, having a mechanic where you would be able to get around it by swapping healing would just be bad in general, right? That you're just kind of putting a band-aid on shit. At that point.
I have to say, you can't gut the healing. You can't gut the healing.
We're not saying gut the healing. We're saying tone it down because right now a cleric pocketing a wizard and the wizard just going, "I'm gonna run at you and never die" is a problem.
Yeah.
Or any other class, fighter, barbarian, any of these classes where they just go, "I'm not gonna die because I have a cleric in my pocket." That's a problem.
It was Demon Lock a few months ago.
It removes all the skill expression from the game.
Yo, a
Everyone
clerk.
slow down here.
Wait,
Okay,
can I just say
nerf
something? A
warlock
cleric.
and then nerf cleric. Can't do it.
Okay. A cleric. Okay, a cleric team.
Well,
versus-
healing in general just needs to be nerfed. But
I think a cleric team versus a non-cleric team, there's an insane difference in like the ability
the gap
to
is
win.
massive.
Yeah,
Insanely massive.
because like a blue bandage cannot compete with instantaneous heals, right?
No, not even close.
Okay. But when it is a 2 cleric team, like a cleric versus a cleric team, I think that is the perfect solution to this lower TTK problem that people are talking about. Like, that's the main issue why I don't think cleric is insane. Like I understand that it's insanely frustrating, right?
But you can work around
the ideal
that.
cleric vs cleric matchup, like, you know that you have to kill the other cleric to win the matchup. Like it's right there in front of you.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be like that.
Saying to kill a cleric and actually killing a cleric are two different things when you have two people bodyguarding the cleric.
And even if that's the case, if the TTK is too high and we're trying to substitute the TTK by increasing heals, just nerf the time to kill and remove the heals.
Yeah, more HP and less healing is what this game needs because that is how you get more skill expression out of almost every single fight matchup you can think about.
Yeah, I can see that.
Longer fights, but
you don't think
less
that, you don't think
healing.
that, no, but that's minus 15 HP was the count, like the reducing the effectiveness of
The minus 15 HP was one of the worst things they've done in a long time.
The game was basically the same before and after it.
It's the same. It doesn't. The game is the same. It won't matter. Okay, like the thing is, if you do all those
you realize
changes,
that the minus 15 HP was what allowed barbarians to be able to one-shot people like rogue and rangers and shit like that. I know you don't believe in it, but it does happen.
But it wasn't. But it wasn't. It wasn't really that. Okay, there's two caveats to that. One, when that patch dropped and everyone said they were being one-shot, there's two reasons for that. One, the barb got a base strength increase. It got a strength increase on rage. Two-hander, well, not necessarily not needed, but like, and then so two-hander got buffed. But the reason why it was happening more often than not was because everyone was enamored by the fact that you could just throw on Squire gear that gave you no additional stats. And when you have no additional stats and I have no additional stats and I have better base stats than you, I'm going to win 90% of the time. But when people were playing
Arena though with Giga Kits though. I'm not talking about Squire. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
What you're talking about.
Wait,
but
but here's the thing. Okay, so what's changed from when that patch dropped to right now in the game? What's changed?
Well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that specifically.
There's only
There's been a lot of things that have changed.
There's only one thing that's changed on the Barb class, and I'm still not one-shotting people. Two-hander got a 10%.
Yes, but hold on. When you hit me in the head the other day, you didn't rage. My argument isn't that before rage I did get one shot. It's after rage. If you rage right there, you untap me.
Yeah.
You were in low fist, and you were in low fist power.
Now, yes, okay, yeah, that's fine.
You might not kill the barb. You might not kill the barb, but when they hit rage, they are literally minus PDR. If you die to a one-shot barb,
not anymore. Not anymore. They changed it. It's minus 15 now. They changed
it. If you still,
not minus 15.
They still take more damage with rage.
It's minus 75 and minus 15% PDR.
Yeah, they still take more damage in rage. You should be able to punish that no matter fucking what.
Okay, so again, when there's like three things to unpack there, okay? One, you're talking about my kit and not being able to one-shot you because I wasn't raised and I have fizz power. Okay. I built the fizz power kit. I played it for 3 days. I wasn't one-shotting people. On the rare occasion that I one-shot a wizard, I had berserk damage procced, raged and reckless, and the guy did not have the best arena kit.
Yeah.
Second off,
we did one-shot a warlock too.
Was there a ranger with a gold scarf? Like, what was it?
It was a wizard with like gold gear on. Like he had the HP
that
gear.
doesn't make sense. Now hold on. That's bullshit. We're talking about like somebody with a gold scarf, like a rogue or a ranger. We're talking about that with no head protection.
I don't.
Like wizards, wizards still have 40% PDR. I have a wizard kit on right now where I'm 310 MS and 40% PDR. I'm full. Like I didn't build PDR whatsoever, and they inherently get 40 PDR. So. It doesn't.
But what he's saying though is that he one-shot a warlock too, but the dude had a pretty mediocre kit with like 110 health or something like that, and like decent PDR.
Yeah, that's fair.
In actual arena where wizards have like 160 HP, 40 PDR.
Yeah, you're not one-shotting that.
But yeah, but even here's the other thing though.
Retro, I'm literally talking about no headshot protection classes like ranger and rogue who wear shadow mask.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but there's two caveats there. Okay, one. You chose to wear a golden scarf when you could have put on literally any other piece of gear, and all the other gear is also good.
I have a frostlight hood on now, so
yeah,
I won't get one.
Yeah. Second off, like again, I had to dodge 45 arrows. I had to wait for your backstep. I had to wait for your shotgun, and then you somehow.
We're not talking about the matchup. I'm just talking about in general. A ranger can be one shot. That's what I'm saying. I can one shot you with a shotgun.
Yeah, but theoretically, you can say that about. Yeah, but you can say that about anything. It doesn't. You're taking out the context of every other thing in the game, though. That's like saying.
I'm not talking about the.
That's an irrelevant point to me.
Context wasn't anywhere in this. I'm just simply talking about classes that. When I was talking about that, I was talking about classes that can be one shot.
Yeah, but
I can one shot you with shotgun. You can one shot me.
Every class
in the head
in
with
game
your Bardiche.
One shot.
What is easier? I think the Bardiche is. That's where the
psychotic take.
That's actually one psychotic take, but two, like okay, this is
because anybody who knows how to play around a shotgun understands that if you just don't all in them and you bait out the shotgun, they don't have it anymore.
Okay,
what do I do as an all melee player when he holds shotgun and looks at me?
You step backwards and wait.
And then he shoots me again because we're at range again. Thank you.
You play the medium
he's
distance.
Exerting
That's
over me.
No, you
where
play
I
the medium
can.
distance.
Yes.
You play the fucking 3 to 5 meter range, where when they put their shotgun away, you're on their face.
Okay,
so
he played against these rangers
his shotgun away at the wrong time. Is what
By the way, I built a barb kit, and I played against rangers, and I know exactly how to play against them because I am one of the top rangers.
Yeah, I know how to play against rangers too. Here's the thing. That wasn't a schizo take. That was a skinny Pete take. That wasn't a schizo take. That was a skinny Pete take. What you're implying is that like every single engagement I get into, we're gonna be in 5-foot distance because I voiped some fucking asinine line to you and you stopped moving. You said, "What did you say, bro?" And then I walked up to you and I hit you in the head. You removed all the Rangers' agencies to move, use any of your abilities, skills, or anything like that. And second of all, the whole point of the shotgun thing, let's just put it into like the arena context, okay? It's 1v1. You're Ranger, I'm Barb. Let's say I'm so retarded that I didn't bring in a shield, even though the shield doesn't really help me here. If you hold shotgun and you stand there till the zone closes, I cannot win. You can just stand there with the shotgun out the entire game, wait for the zone to close, walk towards me, and shoot me.
Oh
my god!
10 damage, boys.
The schizo takes.
I'm literally dying to 7 damage in my limbs.
Holy!
A Franny to a ranger with a gold mask in his head is like fucking 30.
Oh yeah, let me just like
30 damage. How much does a longbow do to my head through a visored sallet? It's more than 30.
Oh, it is a lot. But
So,
we're talking about having shotgun pulled, right? Can we
Like, shotgun-
not be
shotgun
recording
also
for 5
doesn't-
seconds?
Are good, but they're not that good. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
back to back.
again, we're kind of like
This
we're
is high skill ceiling.
we're
takes, guys,
we're kind
but
of
it's okay
like
if you don't.
we're boiling
I
down
think- I don't think so.
we are boiling it down pretty hard. But like, okay, let's say we get into a duel. Okay, let's say we get into a duel in arena, and I'm the average
would
barb.
win.
Yeah,
I'm the
Retro,
average.
Hold on, I'm not talking about like if I'm across the map from you. I'm saying close range. Obviously, I have all the tools to fucking roll a barbarian. Ranger has all the tools to shit on a barbarian. I'm not saying any of
agree
this.
with that. I think Ranger
all
wins.
of
versus
this,
Barb in
all of
melee.
this is so like I don't know where you're getting all this from.
We should
Ranger
avoid-
shits on Barb in most situations. I have
We have-
backstep,
And
shotgun, and a fucking longbow.
Yeah, but
spear.
I think
the whole
I think
point of
it's
the
a-
argument. Yeah, but the whole point of the argument was.
Spear versus Barb has actually got like.
Yeah, but, like, here's the thing.
I
the
can
whole-
literally kill you in melee range with backstep spear. I can gap you.
Well, so then, like, what? I don't understand what you're arguing for. The whole argument sprung.
whole-
The whole wait, stop. Let me finish. The whole
Shot
argument.
each other.
Yeah, but the whole argument sprang from the fact that you said to me after killing me in arena that I should have just one shot you. But then now you're saying that you can kill every barbarian for free in ranged or melee. Which one is it? Do I one shot you and win, or do you beat me in melee and ranged? You can't have it both ways. You're juggling like four balls.
100% beat you in melee range. I said I have the chance to beat you in melee range.
Oh.
No, you literally just said
You
I
use the
shit on
button,
barbs.
you're hot Barb.
You just
I shit
said
on most barbs because barbs hold W and they turn their fucking brain off. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If
So-
you play barbarian properly, you will kill me. You
So-
will Achilles me, get on my
If you're
face,
playing
and then
Ranger
fucking
properly,
kill
you
me.
never die.
so
That's like
again.
obvious to
How?
anyone who knows
Wait,
the game.
How?
So a lot of people that don't play Ranger, y'all need to go play some fucking Ranger and realize that it's not the most
It's not-
fucking
yeah, it's
busted
not
class
easy.
in the entire game.
No.
It's not easy, okay? It's fucking hard. You're a wet napkin. You fall over in 2 hits to everything, okay? You have to
Hey,
play
not
perfect
Doritos, bro.
range.
You
How
don't.
did
I
I
have
feel
people
playing
running
against longbow?
straight at me, and I shoot through them. Like I literally shoot through them. Like
Yeah,
the-
that can-
There
those-
is, there is
those-
arrow delay. We play on
Yeah.
20 tick servers. The
Yes,
game
okay.
is fucking an indie game, basically.
That's okay.
Like,
That's
Hey,
okay.
I hear you, bro.
Your
This
your
is
server
all due
problems.
class.
Your server problems
Rangers
it's
aside.
not
squishy
server
arena.
problems.
That's
It's
all I'm saying.
the server problems.
Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter.
It's the server problems.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Rangers
These
not squishy
server
arena. I just want
these
to be
server
clear.
problems aside, and even if you want to talk about the regular game, the thing is this, okay? And you just said it. You die in 2 hits to melee combat, let's say, which isn't true in arena. I die in 2 hits to ranged combat. Do you understand?
You're not dying to 2 hits unless it's a winless, my brother.
Yeah, he's getting hit by me. And
If I
he got
get-
hit by me, lost half his health.
If I get 2 longbow shots on me, almost
In the
regardless.
face, they deserve it.
Wait, wait,
They-
Almost-
They
show the
deserve,
frame by frame
they
on
deserve to
Fireball.
kill you. Like, and people don't understand how hard it is to hit headshots on good players in this game with how fucking horrible this game is when it comes to registry.
But you're
Like-
not risking anything to chuck a longbow arrow across the module.
Man, maybe
There's
that's
no
because
risk.
our class is called Ranger, and that's what we should be good at. And we're not good at. We're good at melee combat with a spear and backstep, but without our backsteps up, we fall over because somebody jumps on our face and 2-taps us.
Yeah, but
guys
you-
right
but
now
you
are saying,
also-
like,
True, though. Ranger has too much agency. He has shotgun.
Too
he
much
has
agency.
backstab.
yeah, they should take shotgun out.
Yes, again, if they want to
can't
reduce
skip
shotgun
episode.
back to where it was, where it's 50 on the end, 75 toward the middle, and
Oh my
100
God,
in the
please,
middle,
It's
yes.
and
still-
sure,
It
do
still
that.
deletes. It
Yes,
still
bro.
deletes most
Yeah,
characters.
it still deletes melee.
It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
Again, it deletes squishies, but at the
No,
end
it
of the day, if
deletes
you are
melee
brain-
characters. Period.
And if you were brain
does, like,
dead running at
500
somebody, there should be a punishment. You shouldn't just get to freely
Yeah,
kill
but
the ranger
here's
because
the
you
thing,
jumped on their
but-
face.
No, you should. I disagree. That's why
No,
no.
because
No.
I played this game for so long with that.
One, I
I have
believe.
back-
There are so many situations where you just can't get out of it.
Yeah, in the regular game, yes, you can be forced into bad situations. In arena, not so much. Second, I do
True,
agree
but
with
we
Nick.
can't balance the game around arena.
I do
Can't
agree.
balance the game
Hopefully
around.
not.
I do agree with Nick. When I get on top of you as a melee only character, I should have a 80% win chance every single time.
Sure.
That's not the way the
Barbarian
game
versus
is right
Ranger,
now.
yeah, sure.
No, barbarian versus any melee character. Like
Okay,
unless it's
well, I mean,
unless
what do you mean? There's other characters there's other characters that are like basically full melee for the most part. Like what? You should have an
What?
80% time against other characters, like fighter.
every single time, except for fighter, every single class, when I get on top of you as a barbarian,
Okay, except for fighter.
I-
Cleric.
yeah, cleric is supposed to be a support character. Yes, when unless you specifically take the
Well, it depends
skills.
on how you build.
Yeah,
Depends on
specifically if you don't take the melee-centric skills
You're
on
into a
cleric.
smite DP cleric? You want to be 80% win against that?
No,
It shouldn't be a 50-50?
Bro, just
no.
listen, Jesus
I'm
Christ.
I'm telling you, unless the character that I'm playing against has specifically built to play in melee combat, so I can actually play the game against them, I should have an 80% win chance against people that are not building to fight in melee. When I go to box a bard and I don't perfectly drag my bardiche around his fucking tin can and then hit all my headshots, I shouldn't be 3 hit by a Demon's Glee. If I go to fight a fighter in melee combat,
Demon's Glee is retarded. I agree.
Yeah,
even if they don't,
100%.
even
Long
if
problem.
they don't have Demon's Glee, you can
as well.
still get boxed by Rondo, by Rapier, by any of the close. You just get boxed. Here's the thing that I would like to point to. Okay, me and Nick have been theory building barbs the entire arena wipe. Okay, I can't fit 1% more PDR on my goddamn kit, but some fucking retard wizard in arena can afford to take Magic Lock.
True.
Yeah.
What the absolute fuck?
Wait, I'm confused. What do you mean by that?
I just what I'm saying
what's
is
the
my
He means
What's
you
the
have to
comparison?
build so perfectly on
I
Bard
have-
to literally do anything, and other classes can just goof around and still succeed. Is what he's trying to say.
that's what I'm getting at. I can
Okay.
I have to min max. First of all, there isn't even any gear for me to fucking buy. Okay, I just want you to answer. This is just for me
Yeah, 'cause
personally.
people have it in
when
their stashes. It's
when
not on the
no
market,
it's not
but
even.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's not even that. Okay, when you're in the dungeon, right?
That's not just Barb's thing too, by the way.
When-
That's every class I've been trying to build.
Yeah.
Kind of,
think-
but
I
it's
think it's just a Barb
kind of,
issue,
but it's
too.
really bad on Barb. Okay,
I've
when
been
was the
crafting
last
my
time
kits.
you went into the dungeon and you went and mined
Yeah, I
some
had to craft all my
Froststone
gear,
ore,
too.
and you were like, you know what I'm gonna do with this Froststone ore? I'm gonna craft a Norman nasal helm. When was the last time that you went in the dungeon?
Hey,
You
I
saw
bought
a
one of those
Gurge drop.
yesterday.
You dropped a Gurge on the ground, and you're like, you know what I should do? I should pick up that Gurge. That sounds like a really good, solid investment for my inventory slots. There's no gear on Barb that I can wear that does anything for me except for the Frostwarden outfit. Even the gear, I know
does
where
have
this is.
limited options,
I know
yeah.
we're just getting on something else there, but like the Barb-centric gear. If you just go look at the Northern Full Tunic and then compare that to the
If
Frostwarden
you want to
outfit,
compare it, if you
How
wanna
is that
compare
even a
it to
thing in the
Fighter's
game?
gear, it's stupid.
Any
Because
class's
Fighter's
gear.
gear has been. Oh, well, no, Fighter's gear has always been overtuned, though. That's the problem, because the MS penalty
True,
that they
true.
did at the beginning of the wipe was brain dead. And they never should have done it.
They should
Nope, they
combine
shouldn't have.
Slayer and Weapon Mastery together.
Like-
so
Like,
sooner on-
PDR
True.
fighters are way too fast. And
If
they,
they're gonna-
Yep, I agree.
yeah, so
Yeah.
PDR fighters are way too fast, and the amount of armor that it gives while being faster than Barbarian is a problem. Also, I don't like being nice to Barbarian players because like that class is just like holy shit. When I play that class for more than an hour, I feel like anybody who mains it eats crayons. Like it's so boring.
yeah,
But
There
but
is
boring-
But it is a
99.9% of
basic
Barb.
class.
Show a
Hold
video
on,
hitting an
let me
axle.
finish.
Show
Let
a
me
video
finish.
hitting an axle
Hell no.
right now.
Let
Show
me
me a
finish.
video of you hitting an axle.
Yeah, like-
right now. Right
yeah,
now.
I totally agree with Orion, by the way. I literally
Like-
agree with him.
yeah.
Hold on.
but-
So here, no, let me
That's
finish.
fair.
Let me finish.
What
The barbarian is so basic of a class that if they gave it some more tools or some more things here and there to actually be fun and like fit into the meta, I wouldn't be against that.
Yeah, but-
as it stands right now, the class is so fucking boring.
Yeah, but
that
that's
I don't
not
understand
what we're
why you play
talking.
it.
Yeah, but we're not talking about boring versus not boring. We're talking about whether
No,
the
we're
class
talking
takes
about
skill.
tools. We're talking about tools that the class has, right? And barbarian really doesn't have that many.
It doesn't have
tools,
anything.
which makes
Yeah,
it boring. That's
Yeah,
why.
there's
That's
very
what I'm
little
talking
tools.
about.
That's
That's
very
why I said if
straightforward
you
class. It's
if
very
you
easy to
played the
play.
COD, you'd be up there, Ray, because you're not a bad player. You're a good player, but you don't have enough utility to deal with everybody else that has more utility.
Like
than you.
barbarian doesn't have a lot of utility.
Yeah, no, I
It doesn't
completely
have
agree.
much
But
of
when
a-
you say
If you're not
boring,
running
Barb-
Achilles, you
Barb
can't really
is
get
a
on a
role
ranger
player.
that
Okay,
easily.
You guys
So
need to
like,
understand. You guys need to understand. Barb is a role player. It's not about like being able to kill X amount of players. It's like I need to create space for my team.
I
so
agree
I'm
there,
gonna run
actually.
it.
Yeah,
Like, it's not.
100%.
It's not.
Good
Characters
I
are
was-
not like fucking damage outputs, bro.
yeah, I was
Like,
playing barbarian yesterday,
Wow.
and we got that small map where there's the axes, right? The Crips map.
yeah, yeah.
And
What map?
I went behind, I had my ranger and my wizard on the one side, and I went through the axe traps and stood on the other side, literally standing there menacingly SpongeBob meme, and just stood there, and they were so scared of me.
Yeah.
And I provided like so much pressure just standing there.
Again,
It's insane. Just being
okay,
a barbarian.
Which is a
I
good part of the class.
I
It's good.
understand that, but
More
like
so in the
here's the
dungeon
thing.
than the arenas,
Again,
but-
we're talking
they shoot
about
you?
what's fun. Why didn't they shoot you? Why didn't they close the gate on you? Like we're just talking about things that are like
no,
fun
the
versus
gate
not
was
fun.
closed. The whole threat was me opening that gate and pushing into them while they had a ranger and a wizard staring at them from the other side. They
Yeah,
didn't have
okay.
a cleric. They can't just push straight into a wizard.
I understand that, but okay, again, I feel like we're like discounting the fact that there's 3 players on the enemy team. So while you're standing at the gate, why isn't there someone on the other side of the gate standing there on the lever? You can never get through the gate, and even if you do, it's
right. But
it's
then
like,
it's a 2v2 versus a ranger and a wizard on the other side, right?
yeah. So what's on my
Going
team?
through a
My
tiny tunnel
team
that
3.
can get nuked because they don't have a cleric.
Yeah, okay, but like again, so what were you haven't described the other team. So like, what is my team? Just like 3 barbarians just sitting there like retards? Like my team doesn't have a ranger and a wizard? Like
no, it was I think it was like a fighter, a ranger, and something else that wasn't ranged.
so why wasn't my 2 ranged classes shooting back at their
They were, but
2 ranged classes?
they were, but the ranger can get more arrows out than the fighter, and if you play that cage spot really well, the ranger is, or the you know, not many shots are getting hit, and they don't want to push into them, so it's basically just a stalemate. So. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
I get
again,
what you're saying.
we're
I
talking
agree with
about
that, actually, that Barb does have some strength in like creating some level of space, because that's how I play too, honestly.
But Ranger versus Ranger, like you just talked
I
about,
think it's the best
a
in the
mere
world,
matchup
though.
Ranger versus Ranger, and then Fighter versus Wizard. It's like it's
Right, I
Ranger.
understood that, but you were saying why don't they just push them? Because it's a
No,
tight
no.
little hallway where a wizard can just nuke their
Yeah.
people. Like,
But again, they would.
that's why they didn't push them.
It's no, but like I'm not saying that they should push. I'm just saying they can fight. Like they can literally just shoot their bows at the 2 non. Yeah. So again, like so what did Barbarian do? That you didn't do anything. You didn't showcase any power of the class. You stood there, and that was it.
Are we talking about axe traps?
No, he's just referring to that map in particular, which is why he referenced the axe traps. He stood on the other. He stood on the. Sorry, the sin is kicking in. He stood there on the other side.
No, okay, yeah, but if I'm not a barbarian, right? Like, what other class? I mean, fighter is one of them.
Any other class.
Like,
Any
what other class gets to stand there without 3 people pushing them? Like,
Any other
Every
class.
single class.
Any other class. The thing wasn't that you were playing barbarian. The thing was you were threatening the flank. Any
threatening space.
class.
Right, of course. Right.
Yeah, but any class could do that. You could have been a fighter. You could have been a druid. You could have been any other class.
Rogue.
You could have been a
Right,
wizard.
no, but they could all 3 push me, though, right? So if I'm a ranger, obviously all 3 of them push me.
If you're all, so then your team just hits the reverse flank. It's a square map. It's circular. It
That's
doesn't
fine,
matter.
but if they get on top of me and they like hydra the way for me to get out, or treant the way for me to get out, barbarian can at least maybe fight there and kill one. Ranger's just dead unless I have a shotgun.
I can certainly tell you
it's
right
a bit
now
mediocre in
that if you
arena,
get
but in dungeons, I feel especially.
Also, Ray,
that
by
I
the
can
way, they
create
did
space
push
for
me.
my
The rogue
team.
pushed me, and I fucking one-tapped his ass. So,
I mean, I guess the rogue
I'm
just
so
had a bad.
barbarian.
The rogue just had a bad kit on, I guess, because like.
No HP.
It's just better in dungeons, honestly. People don't have the health pool to push barbarians, so you can create a lot more space.
Yep.
Mostly
Yeah,
in dungeons.
in the
so
arena, it's much different. Than
I actually
arena.
find it's fine. It's actually pretty fun.
I agree with that, but like what you were saying for that specific example, you could have been any class and just stood there and threatened the flank. It would have been the same. And in fact, if you were any other class, you would have actually been doing damage and not just standing there.
Yeah, ideally you're a fighter there.
no,
or
you're
if
right
you're-
there.
You would've
If I
done
was a
much
fighter, I
more.
could have been shooting a bow over there. You're right.
Yeah,
And
if
it's
you're
like
shooting
another
crossbow
thing too is
like
like
fighter.
I get
you told me how you won all that, and I just want to know like if I'm the rogue, what am I doing with a non HP build, randomly trying to box a barbarian?
Well, he
Yeah.
pushed with his team. He just got one-tapped.
Yeah. So again, what am I doing as a rogue
Wait,
without the
why are
HP
you-
build? Why am I man fighting the barbarian?
Yeah,
It doesn't
forget
matter if my whole
precedent
it's even if my whole team is pushing you. Like, why did I go in first with no HP build? I should have just sat in the tile that I was previously in.
Yeah, but why are we talking about everybody's going to play the game completely perfectly?
I mean,
Because
most
I'm
people are
assuming
like
I'm
this game
playing
stupid.
against people like
Of similar
with a brain.
skill.
Yeah.
I'm playing against people. Okay, so like again,
What
that
do you mean? Repose,
so
Repose in arena will run up by you and try to kill you too. The fuck?
Odd.
What are we talking
Yeah.
about here?
Yeah,
That's-
we're talking
that's-
about
Yeah,
the
but he usually
optimal
plays pretty good
situations.
gear, though. Repose will usually play
Well,
like.
even-
good gear.
No,
Yeah,
I know
but
his
okay.
good. He's above 140 HP. I
Yeah,
can't
okay,
Repose,
but again-
he's
Yeah,
extremely
he'll
healthy.
typically play good stuff.
okay, yeah, but
Yeah.
now we have two different examples there. We're talking about you just said, and I quote, why are we considering every player to be like playing perfectly, and then you use Repose as your example, who's playing perfectly. Like even if we don't take that into account, let's say they all push you for whatever reason. Why did the rogue, when he has a fighter ranger on his team, engage in melee combat with you instead of standing there and waiting for you to have to push through 2 ranged damage and then threaten the attack once you're in melee range. He could have just
Again-
stood. He could have done what you
They could have
did.
done this. They could have done this, but they all three pushed me at the same time.
Okay, so then
and
I don't
went down
understand
the
why-
rogue. Rogue
yeah,
on
but-
my left, fighter on my right. I go for the guy that I could kill.
Yeah,
first,
okay.
so I
Like
can
a
take
1
out
out
the
of
right one.
10 situation though.
Even-
we're talking
even-
a class matchup that
No,
like,
we're talking
that's a
about
1/10
we're
fringe
talking about
situation
the
where he
average
fucked up.
situation and getting pushed by 3 people. Like,
Yeah, okay, but like again, like so I just don't understand. Like again, it doesn't make any sense. You're arguing for like the 1%
If you
of
get pushed by
chances.
3 people, you better have a fucking cleric. And that's how you balance the game, bro. Okay?
For
You
real,
get the
bro.
cleric, bro.
Just
It's
have
okay
it
to have
arranged.
one
No,
take,
okay, hold
or
on.
you can play
Not-
triple range.
just have a
There's
cleric, bro.
options.
Not to get back into the cleric situation, but like the most fun fights you can ever have in this game is where both teams have a cleric. It just sucks that
Disagree.
you're
Because it feels
forced.
even, yeah.
Hard to say.
No.
I agree.
No.
It feels even.
You
It's
can
more
have
fun.
such long, cool fucking fights where you're just
Yeah.
beating the shit out of each other in melee fights with a cleric.
Well,
Like,
I
both
mean
players-
that
both
is
players have
until
the-
the other
I
team has a
agree. I think
wizard and
players-
you're
both
immediately
players have the
evaporated.
same chance to
No,
win.
again, I'm talking about
Yeah,
the
one at a
most
time,
fun
one-
fights, which is 2 melees and a cleric,
One at a
both
time.
I don't
beating
know.
the shit out of each
Do
other.
you remember like when it was double fucking demon warlock buff ball teams just both aping on
Oh,
each other,
boy.
holding left click for 40 seconds? That was not
That was
fun.
base,
that shit was
though.
Yeah, and then they
I
nerfed
know
the
you
shit out of
don't.
Chris Dagger.
Yeah, it was so
Gone,
crazy.
and
Well,
they
no.
nerfed Demon
Well,
Lock,
yeah.
and now we're
I
playing
mean,
it.
that was
Hey,
that was a
Demon
problem
Lock's
because
dead,
These
and nobody's
really
having
long
fun.
cleric buff ball
that was a
fights
problem
are
because
not
every
fun.
other situation that they would get into, they would run the other team over. But when it's just cleric v cleric, they can literally just have a back and forth fight.
I mean, yeah,
It's
if you're if
Now
you
they
if
some of the
nerfed
most fun
Demon
you could
Lock,
have
and
in the
nobody's
game,
having
honestly.
fun.
You're saying the
That's
most
all
fun
it
is
is.
the WM1 while buff
You
applied.
have 2 teams doing
constantly.
that against each other? Have you never
so-
done that?
I
Have you never
have, I
done that?
don't think it's fun.
it's
I
not
think
fun,
it's
and
not
even
fun.
and even if that was the
There's
case,
no
right?
skill
I think it's
expression
the
at
funnest to
all.
get in this game.
Even
Yeah.
if that was the case, like okay, so let's say that that's the case, and it's my barb and my cleric versus some fighter and some cleric, it's an auto loss. Right? Like the barb
I
just
think-
the
I
barb
think
just
it's
loses
blocks,
that
yeah.
inherently, right? Because it's not even about blocking. Like all the fighter weapons just DPS check you, and your cleric and the enemy cleric, even if they're healing the same, the class doesn't do enough damage in melee. You have to land and play perfectly. The other guy has to hold the left mouse button and use his high DPS weapon to kill
if
you.
if the barbarian is resistance built and the fighter is in full plate, you don't think the barbarian can win?
Yes, if the other guy plays like a retard and builds no HP, the guy that played not like a retard can win. Thank you
wait,
for the
what?
cool.
No, fighter building how they should, HP and PDR versus the barbarian building resistance, the tank build.
Yes,
quote-unquote
the
retard
barb
build.
on average loses because they don't have the same DPS. I don't think people understand when
Yeah,
you
right.
talk about damage in the game, you hear the word damage and you don't hear the word DPS. Barb has good damage. It has 0 DPS. Every other class has good damage and high DPS. It's just a function of the weapons. The weapons don't work on Barb because they're all extremely slow. I have to build 20% action speed. The fighter has to equip 2 abilities, which he's taking anyway.
I don't disagree that, again, I've always said fighter is the golden
If-
child of Iron Mace. It
It doesn't,
is
even if it's a bard, it
busted
doesn't
as
matter.
shit.
Even if it's a bard, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Bard has hella buffs that gives it a bunch of action speed, like, of course, yeah. Like, Bard has always been an S tier class. It's also the most nerfed class in the entire game's history, by the way, and it's still S tier.
So-
Just buff-
so-
It's
buff
still
also.
S tier, which is
So
insane.
again, in what
I agree.
matchup does a barb with a cleric beat another cleric and any other class that's playing in melee?
Ranger. Oh,
But
melee?
Ranger's not really a melee class, so it doesn't count.
I'll be honest, you give me backstep spear, I'm never losing to a barbarian player.
Yeah.
I will never lose to a barbarian player.
I will
Everybody's
never
asking,
quit
though,
saying.
is, like,
You
if
can't
if
can't say
take
never
two buff
because
ball
shitty
comp-
situations happen. But if you're talking about like like perfect, just
Yeah, but we're-
yeah,
but yeah,
you're
but
That's what
beast
we're
clear,
always
then yeah, of
talking
course.
about. We are
Oh.
always talking about
Hey.
best in slot gear, equally skilled
Yeah.
players matching up in an like
No, I'm
relatively
talking about
even scenario.
environment-wise.
Out
I'm
of
talking
10,
about
how often you
kiteability
win?
environment-wise. That's what.
Yeah, but like the
It's
regular
just
dungeon
whoever
is far
plays
more
better,
balanced than
honestly.
arena, right? But like the other thing too, that like is specifically referring to your example of like you one-shotting this rogue. In your example there, which is kind of what you're alluding to, but not really. It's like you played perfectly, the other guy played like a retard. Why are we making that the golden child example of like?
I never
the
said I was the golden child example.
No, no, but I'm
that's
just saying.
what I
But
went
yeah,
off
but I'm
of.
just saying
That's
like
just what I went off
that guy played retarded and you didn't. So of course you're gonna win that fight because he played retarded. But we're playing repose versus repose in a mirror matchup, and the cleric is named cleric player. I don't know who the fucking plays that class. like who wins that fight in a fair match? It's Repose versus Repose, Cleric versus Cleric. Repose is on Fighter and Repose is on Barbarian. Who wins? The guy that's on Fighter, because the class is just inherently better. If it's Bard versus Bard, who wins? The guy that's on Bard, because the Bard just does more damage and has almost the same amount of HP and PDR as the Barbarian. I have to land two
I don't
quick
disagree with these things. I want you to understand this.
Yeah, I have to
think
land.
Bard is an S tier class, and I think Fighter is an A tier class. And I think Barb is like a B tier just because it doesn't have fucking a lot of utility and like tools to deal with a lot of shit. So
I think
like
Barbarian loses
I
to every
agree.
class.
I agree with these things.
Based
But
true.
I'll keep saying this. Like Barbarian is just like a brain dead class right now, where you do the things. You do high damage, and you can get on people
Well,
with rage and Achilles, but like that's it. That's all you really do. You're just a fucking.
Well,
You guys always say brain dead. Like it takes skill to play Barbarian, but it's boring as fuck.
Okay,
I
it
think
takes
that's what
skill
you
to
mean.
play every class
Yeah,
at
like,
a
we
high
were all
level.
moving the
At a
same.
high
Ranger,
level.
Ranger doesn't take skill. I'm gonna stand on that shit.
Dude,
Yeah,
there's
you
a
can stand on
thing,
that. You can
in
stand on
Smash
that all you
Melee.
want, bro.
There's a
When
thing
I-
in Smash
Hey,
Bros.
listen, when
Melee.
I 1v3 you guys, that took a lot of skill. But
Dude, one of the
Oh,
greatest
really?
players.
Just like it took a lot of skill when I 1v3 on Warlock with Phantom Eyes. That shit took a lot of skill too.
it does. It does actually. Yeah. It does.
Bullshit.
He said when we're all good at the game, every character is hard. And I think that's like something everyone should like try and remember.
I
It's
mean,
like
that's
character's
pretty
got
fucking
problems
true.
with different things.
My
like,
question
when we're
is,
talking
since you
this
guys
level of
hate
play.
Ranger so much, like
Yeah,
how many
they
shots
don't
should a
play
Ranger
Ranger,
take
so it's
to, like how many shots should a Ranger have to hit on you to kill you? That should be my main question right now.
Six.
I think you should have to hit some melee hits. is the
35% PDR
So
hybrid
with-
plate lock.
With, like the action speed it takes for me to shoot at you, I have to like we've been at the point where it took 6 shots. That's why we have the armor pin built into weapons right now. We were literally like shooting all you guys, literally shooting all you guys and turning you into porcupines with like how many arrows
Yeah.
we were putting into you.
I will
Zell,
personally say
Zell, let me
that
cut
I
in.
think I'll let you
Go
talk
for it,
after
go
this,
for
but I personally think that Ranger is fine as it is in terms of ranged combat. And if they hit me in the head a bunch of times and kill me, I really don't have a problem with that.
They deserve
it's
it.
what
'Cause
happens.
headshots aren't
like,
easy. But
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind. If I pull my shield out and block a bunch of headshots and get in and kill you, okay, cool. The problem isn't that you guys do damage from range. I think that's literally what the class is supposed to be.
That's
It's literally what it should do.
about.
Yeah.
It's literally what it should do. But
Yeah.
it's for me, it's only the melee stuff that bothers me ever. It's the only thing I'll ever complain about is some dude bear boxes me and shits on me or shotguns me and shits
Yeah,
on me.
so
Those things are stupid.
the spear perk having 7 fizz power, you could rip that off. Honestly, it's
Yeah,
too
that's
much.
dog shit.
I'm gonna
You
go
could
ahead and do
you
that,
can
yeah.
rip
It
that
doesn't
off.
matter.
It's too much. Allowing me to use a spear, it just should be the ornate thing of the perk. Giving me 7 fizz power on top is ridiculous.
Yeah, but
It's
it
way
but
too
does
I
much.
think it'd be a negative pin
Also-
for having extra range.
Not understanding, I feel
Also,
like melee
nerf.
combat.
Also, I'm okay with them nerfing some damage off of the longbow, just because of how oppressive it can
Even
be.
to what you
But,
said though, it doesn't matter how much damage the spear does. It really doesn't.
Yes,
like
it does.
until
Yes, it
we
does.
get into like 20 damage, it doesn't. Because the thing is, you're
It does to
playing.
me.
Dude, so wait, 7 fizz power is a fuck ton, right?
People
It-
will
it's-
I
always
realize it
stack
doesn't
damage,
matter.
bro. People will always stack damage. If your class is Ranger and all that matters is your damage and your move
you
speed,
will stack
damage
damage,
will always
but
get
7
stacked.
fizz power
Nerfing
off
a-
of your kit with the
No,
spear is a
nerfing
lot,
a
brother.
perk won't do shit, dude.
Yes, it will.
nerfing
It's
a perk
actually
won't
not.
do
It will.
Yes, it will.
It's gonna
It
do-
definitely will.
With old true fizz, it's not 7 fizz power is not going to mean shit, to be honest.
It
It's
will.
what, 2
I mean,
damage, maybe
it-
3.5.
it's not-
or 4
it's
damage.
not even
get
about
it,
the
but,
da-
like,
it's
what
not
if you
even
did,
about
like,
the da-
minus 5 weapon
It's like
damage or something
literally
like that.
like-
It would actually matter a lot.
It would.
I,
It would
I
make
It's about
really
the
want you
range.
guys to hop on Ranger and just like see.
Yeah. Also,
without
by
the
the way,
crew.
go
enjoy it.
try to box up good.
Yeah,
Go try to box up good melee players on Ranger with spear and hit every single sweet spot, because I promise you, guess what? If you hit one sour spot, you're doing 20 damage.
I
max.
do it with the Bardiche
You're doing
every
not
day, so
much
with the
damage.
spear, it's like way easier actually.
If you hit
Bro,
a
I-
star spot on spear, you're bad. I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
Listen, I just,
the
I
reason-
just want to
Bro.
not fairly lose.
Bro.
I just want to
yeah,
barely
let a
not
rogue
lose
get
in
on you
melee
with
fight
Seth
for a
and
ranger,
then
that's
say
it.
that again. Okay?
No, no,
That's
I.
a whole different issue.
Hold on,
Rogue
hold on.
needs to be deleted from the
Everyone,
game.
everyone,
I
calm
think
down
we
for a
all
second.
agree
Yeah, I agree with that.
The point me and
Let
Nick,
Ray say let Ray say something.
so
Yeah, sorry, though.
Cheeto's point is makes sense. You don't. The thing is, you don't want to almost lose a melee combat to a ranged character. But the reason why me and Nick were saying that it doesn't matter how much you nerf the spear is because when you have the spear in backstep, the objective and how it plays out 90% of the time is that you're not actually getting hit. That's the problem. It's not that
Exactly.
you're never trading anything. The reason why the ranged classes are strong isn't necessarily because they do damage at range. It's because you're not giving up anything to do damage at range. You're not giving anything up. When you play backstep spear, you're not giving anything up. The moment I close distance, you hit me with a spear, you backstep, you avoid my hit that I swung on you if I chose to swing, and then we're back to the same situation where you're at ranged and I'm not at ranged.
Which is true. It's like, what do you take?
When you play against when you play against the ranger, you inherently know that he's just gonna have backstep on though, right?
Of course, yeah. I play accordingly. I play.
Okay, so
that.
if you just as a barbarian run up on him and then swing, you understand he's just gonna backstep out of that every single time.
Yes, that's why normally what I do.
Don't swing because I was playing my barbarian yesterday. I was playing my barbarian yesterday, and I fought many rangers in arena. Guess what I did? I got up close onto them. If they pulled shotgun, I jumped back. If they don't pull a shotgun and they backstep away, I don't swing until I know they've exhausted at least one backstep and I'm close enough to hit them.
That's literally what I do as well, yeah.
You have to know how to play around the backstep.
Yes, I know this. You wait for both, but again...
But you keep saying you know this, but then I watch clips of you swinging and the ranger backsteps out of it. You can't say I know how to do it, but then not practice.
I don't do it. I don't
that's
do
not
it
always
every.
True. Sometimes he does bait the first backstep.
I usually do, but even if that's the case, this is what happens when I swing, right? So let's say I'm going to force the backstep. So I go to force the backstep, and I'm eating 2 spear hits. I'm down 40%.
You should be eating the 2 spear hits. You're not spacing it properly. You're not playing out of the range of the spear. If he swings his spear and then you go out of the range and then get close enough to where he backsteps because he thinks you're gonna swing, that's baiting a backstep without getting hit with the spear. I have played this matchup over and over and over.
And
if you play ranger to where you're only doing the first stab, then you probably won't get caught out. But most rangers go for the second stab because they think the barbarian's gonna commit. And you're gonna use a backstep on that second swing because it takes so long to do that second swing. Unless you have like 30 plus action speed on ranger, which some people do, but most people don't.
I'll let Nick talk, but like
30% action speed is where I like to hit on ranger personally. But the frosted I've been using, I've been only at like 20%.
The part of this matchup is literally that exists in the first place is so silly. Like I have to bait their backstep and do nothing while they can potentially just hit me for free.
You also described that you're winning it exclusively in scenarios where the ranger's playing wrong. The ranger should be pulling a spear every single time they see the barb pull a Bardiche, Zwei, whatever, etc. melee weapon out.
Yeah, they should.
Because you can always win the spacing melee matchup, regardless of if spear has 7 less fizz power or not. If I play ranger and I know how to play the game, I am just as skilled as the barb player. I pull out my spear when I see Barb pulling up on me with a 2-hander. We play melee combat. I have backstep and more range. He can never win.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true. I've played against
factually how melee combat works in this game.
If you know how to play against the backstep, it's not true.
No, that's actually how melee combat works.
But I'm not a barbarian player, and I went in arena and I beat rangers.
Yes, but again, you're playing against someone that wasn't playing. You were playing against somebody who didn't play the game properly. We're talking about the optimal situation. You can win every engagement if someone makes a mistake, dude.
Well, okay. Let's so wait, hold on. Do we have to balance the game around the perfect situation every single time? Because that's you can't do that. You can't balance the game around the perfect situation every single time.
Should it be balanced?
What should be determining your matchups when you're talking about spacing is map knowledge. It should not be a mechanic, right? So if you're a barb and you're chasing someone with a backstep, it has nothing to do with like what the mechanic is. Yes, backstep is OP, and yes, he has infinite charges, and that should be addressed. But you have to understand the way you win against backstep is not about any numerical aspect. It's about like pushing that ranger into a bad part of the map and winning it like that. It's not. It has nothing to do with
also, by the way, if a ranger is in Goblin Cave's prison, if a ranger is in Goblin Cave's prison up top as a barbarian, just don't push it.
Yeah,
you realize just don't push
it.
So
exactly,
it's also mind games as well.
And you can't sit here and say, "Oh, I should be able to push it." No, that's ranger's domain. Don't push it.
Yeah.
There are places where the barbarian should win against the ranger.
Yeah, well, then we don't.
Because in melee, but except for it's not a melee either.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about melee, I'm talking about range.
But hold on, what's so funny about you saying that is literally that's what we did, and that's the whole reason there's like 12 people in this Discord right now is literally because we did that.
Yeah.
We
What?
didn't push. We didn't.
I
push. We
went
didn't
down on
have
the bottom of
lights.
Goblin
We
Cave's
didn't have
jail,
lights.
and I turned off the lights, and I sat there like a
That's the
jackass
only
with the lights
reason
off, and I
everyone's
waited for
here.
melee
Yeah,
combat,
and
and
yes, and we can all agree that some of the fucking maps in Arena are brain dead to where Ranger just has
Oh,
free
they're
reign.
trash.
I'm
Most of them are
I'm a Ranger, man. I've like 2.2k hours
I
on
agree.
Ranger or some shit. Like I understand that there are classes or there are maps like Goblin Cave's fucking jail that is like, oh wow, they have a Ranger, we don't. Fuck. Like,
And I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just really hilarious that the point you made is literally what started this entire conversation.
Well,
It's just
and-
don't
and then-
push. And that's literally what
yeah,
we
well,
did.
even into that lineup, like in the regular dungeon, yes, you can force somebody into a corner where they can't leave, and they can die. That doesn't happen in Arena, unless the Ranger inherently
but you
makes
don't
it.
balance the game around Arena. That's the problem. You balance the game around the real game where there are
Arena
fucking
involves
corners,
Yeah,
you can get people's
that's
fucking-
okay.
There's third parties.
Yeah,
All this
that's
shit.
okay. I sort of agree, but the problem is then me as a barbarian player, what do I do to have fun while playing in Arena?
You don't. That is the answer to that.
Unlucky,
You just
bro.
cry.
Unlucky.
I mean, arenas is just
Again-
like the
again,
distillation of the trios
If,
meta.
if you're not
like min-max
balancing
to
around Arena,
perfection.
it is what it is, right?
Yeah, but we're
Arena
not.
is just
I
the
mean,
real game.
you just don't play barbarian in trios at the end of the day, unless you're just trying to.
No,
have
you
fun
just
with
don't
barbarian
play-
trios.
It's look, I as the person who was first in this call complaining about the arena match, like it's specifically the zone. Like it's 100% the zone forcing you. Like I understand like the zone should push people to fight towards the end, but it should not be like instantaneous. Like do you guys see how like Apex zones close? It's like way slower and it lets you
Yeah,
have
Wait,
the
I understand.
Wait,
extra
no,
You're
wait,
just
hold on. I don't think the
ability.
zone. I don't
Yeah.
think the zone moves too fast in Arena. First
You're
of
just
all. I
ar-
can sit top prison for like fucking
You're
5
literally
minutes
just
shooting arrows.
yeah. You're literally just
No,
making the
he-
argument for ranged
He means
classes.
the literal speed of the zone closing, not the timers of it, but when it does trigger closing, how fast it closes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So-
mean, even then, I don't have a problem with it because at the end of the day, if you want to force, if the ranger doesn't kill them in that time and they hit away that long, because that was boring as fuck for the barbarian to hide that long, and then the ranger comes down into the barbarian's domain. Hey, the barbarian should get that win because they had to play so boring the rest of the fucking match.
I mean, like when you
It's
argue
so funny
the
because at the end of the day, literally nobody had fun.
when you
Yeah,
argue
exactly.
in
We did
reverse.
not have fun, and we did not have fun.
Yeah, well, when you argue in reverse for the zone slow, you're just arguing for ranged buffs. That's all you're doing when you argue for the ranged.
Fuck that zone shit, bro.
Definitely.
Make it like as a ranger, if
time.
I don't kill them fast enough, it should close on me, and then I get forced into an uncomfortable spot. Like I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
be honest.
it should be 100% slower. Like
Imagine no zone where I just have free range and I get to sit spawning the entire
No,
time.
no, no.
I don't do
I-
that, but other
I
rangers
just-
will.
I just think there should be like more play. Like you have to understand, like the zone closed. We're specifically in that situation. I don't know if I should be bringing up an example, but like specifically in that situation, like the zone closes so fast that like we can't even like.
Yeah, you
Strategize.
can't. Yeah. Wait.
Yeah,
You're almost there.
That's
You
good.
can't. You're almost. Wait. You're almost there. When the zone closed real fast, you didn't get to play the game. And guess what? When happened when the zone wasn't closing, I didn't get to play the game.
Yes,
Also, by
but
the way,
you-
wait,
but
did
you
you
have to
not play-
understand. You have to understand that like you were talking about how do you enjoy arenas. That is not enjoyable for you or for me. Like
No,
do
it's
you
boring
understand?
for everyone.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
Well, that
yeah, it's
should
boring
be
for everyone, but
changed.
it's more boring
Yeah.
for the barbarian who has to sit.
But
in
the thing
dark
is,
for a
the
fucking
all-
game
the
so
all-
they don't
There's
really-
no wonder there's no such thing as more boring. If both people
Oh,
are boring,
there
they're
definitely
boring.
is.
Yeah.
I
No.
don't know, man.
Listen. You're not inherently wrong, but the thing is,
Bored.
the alternative to
It is
the
boring.
alternative to what you're saying is for me to not have fun.
To everybody not have fun.
All
right?
I'm
No,
saying
no,
is
no,
it
no,
should
no,
be
no, 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 no,
it
no,
should
no,
be
no, no, no.
slightly slower. It should just be slightly slower where I can actually proc 2 abilities, right?
Wait, hold
Like,
on,
you know?
Slicer. Did you play the game back when the zone was in the real game, or did you not play?
Yeah,
it?
Yeah,
that was
100%. No, I'm a
that was-
playtest player. I'm a playtest player.
Okay,
That was
so
bait.
you understand. So you
Look,
understand
you know what
how.
I did? You know what I did? I
Ranger-
played
how
Rogue.
bad Ranger
I
was
went, no,
back
bro.
then.
Let me explain to you what the game was like when there was
How bad
Zone,
Ranger
okay?
was.
I would play Rogue. I would fucking go to
Getting
center
forced
zone.
into a small circle as a ranger.
Yeah,
That was pretty bad.
I would
Yeah.
play Rogue.
It was pretty
I would go to the center
Camping in
part of the
open portal
zone,
is the ranger,
and then
bro.
I would literally just landmine people because they have to come to me. It was not a good version of the game.
no.
Like, yes,
that was the best version of the game. Because
well, in the circle,
I
You think
I
they
would
should
rather
be
have
zoned?
playtest.
You think it should
Obviously,
be
you know.
zoned? You think it should be
with
zoned?
all his
Yeah.
traps set up and the portal was open, that was so based though. That shit was hilarious.
Bro,
You
just
had to
take
go
me-
to his
no,
portal
Take me
in
back to
his zone with
3x3
all the
goblin
traps.
caves. Take me back to
Base.
3x3 goblin caves,
based,
bro.
actually based,
Actually.
Take me back
actually
to
based.
3x3 goblin caves,
I'm
please.
saying, bro.
Actually,
Oh,
based.
so much fun, dude. And the some of the
Fucking
rooms were
Warzone.
low key better.
That was
Okay,
the original
If
arena.
you say in
Yeah, it was
an
the
arena
original arena.
situation, in a combat style game like arenas, right? If there should be a zone, I would 100% agree. But the base game is not like people should be allowed to play in a non-PvP fashion.
Yeah, no. I'm
I
not
agree.
advocating, by
Yeah,
the
I
way.
agree.
I'm not advocating for zone to come back. I would never want
Not
the
every
fucking
match,
zone to
okay.
come back. Ray, you can want that shit all you want. Fuck the zone, bro. Holy
Oh
shit.
no, I like the
That
zone.
Zone is so
Alright,
easy.
right
It
over
forces
there.
so
Hear me
many
out, though.
unnatural garbage fights. I hate it.
Yeah, kind
hear
of
me out,
like
Bloney.
my
What if
unnatural
instead of, like, the
engagement,
zone-
where like I was running and then I got shot 40 times and I couldn't do anything. Like that
Yeah,
unnatural
again,
engagement.
I guess I can understand your frustration, Ray, from being like an only melee class, but like, why don't you just play something that has some range for a little while and just understand the other part of the game?
I have. I
just
played.
doesn't wanna play that.
I played fighter for an entire
No,
season.
Oh, play range.
How much did you
Range-
use your bow? Like,
range
play
can
play
range can
actual
easily-
ranged characters. That's
I
what
did.
I'm
Range can easily be the range is just as
Go
boring
to my-
as 100%
just-
melee.
just-
Just so you know.
Well, that's. I mean,
Sure, that's
those are all
subjective,
those are
but
all
sure.
subjective things. Just go to YouTube.
He just
watch,
gets bored too easily
just-
of Ranger and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Go
That's
watch
why.
my last
Yeah.
video. You just click on it. You can watch the first like minute clip. I played ranged against a barbarian who literally caught me while I was campfiring. He missed one swing, and then the game was over because he could do nothing. That's the game for you guys the entire time you play. You can't
Watch
do
this,
anything.
and he's the most bot barbarian I've ever seen.
He probably was not very good. He had a raptor. He had a unique bardiche. He missed his swing. I simply walked away. I pulled out my serve bow, and he could do nothing. The game was over because you
Oh,
can't
Bonnie.
engage.
Serve bow full true. You, like, were you serve
No
bow
true.
full true?
Nope, no true.
No?
Just I might have had like one or two. I threw on whatever was in my fucking stash, bro.
I
Put a
was gonna
Slayer
say
kit on.
serve bow full true needs to be toned down. That shit is retarded.
I had like random gear. I might have had like 2 true at most. I just threw on a Slayer kit from gear that I had in my inventory. It just you couldn't do anything. I just followed him around, shot him with a bow, followed him some more, and he caught me while I was campfiring.
Was he slow built? Like, was he tank built?
Yeah, he was
I mean,
tanky.
that guy does sound like low key kind of.
No, like tank built, like slow.
On that guy too.
Yeah, he was.
If he was tank built slow, then I mean to like I don't.
He
know,
was
you're
wearing a
building-
northern
you're
full
building
tunic,
wrong
so
for
yeah.
solos.
I mean, yeah, he
You're
definitely.
building wrong for
I
solos.
don't think he was. I don't think he built correctly, but I think even if he had built correctly and I was slightly faster than him, I win the engagement.
Dude, what do you
I
mean?
get what you're
skinny?
saying.
I mean,
you
we
have
can
built
we
like
can
that.
do that
Yeah.
on me on Barb and you on Ranger and see how that goes. Because I promise you I'll beat you because I know how to play against Rangers. It's at the end of the day, it's worth if you want to talk about like good player versus good player.
I mean,
like, if you're in a pretty boof Ranger set and I'm on Barb and I have a speed kit on, I'm gonna kill you.
I mean, maybe, but like again, the
I
thing
don't-
is,
I don't know
the
where
thing
this
is,
argu-
the thing is, it's easier to
It is
learn
here.
Barb. If I had
Like,
if I had the same hours on Ranger as you do, and I was as good at Ranger as you were, and you were as good at Barb as I am, who wins the matchup?
Well,
I think it's like 7-3.
Well,
The answer
Ranger
is-
doesn't play. He doesn't play.
Are we
Ranger.
assuming that the
Ranger
Ranger
doesn't play
has
Ranger.
like backstep spear?
No,
Right?
no,
I'm
I,
guessing-
Yeah,
no,
I
no,
think
just
it's
no,
like
dude,
7-3.
No, 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 no.
just imagine we're
If
playing
I'm-
Freaky
if I'm
Friday.
on Ranger and you're on Barbarian.
No,
No,
just
you're on
imagine
Barbarian, he's on Ranger.
imagine we're playing Freaky Friday Simulator, okay?
Oh,
I'm
just
Lindsay
like-
Lohan, and you're what's her face. You're now me with my skills on Barb, and I'm now you with your skills on Ranger. If Ranger is inherently the better class, the Ranger wins. We're distilling the game down to like the mechanics. The class is just inherently better. It has more options. It has more agency. It's just better. We can get into the nitty gritty of like, well, if you play Ranger and I play Barb and blah blah. But if you take my skill, and I take your skill, and they're comparable, and you're on the better class, you win most of the matchups. That's just.
I think I'm
You win the
going
1-1, yeah.
6-4
Agree
instead
with
of 7-3. But
Okay,
Ranger wins more than Barbarian.
I agree with
I'm
that.
pretty
I
sure.
think you win
Excuse
that.
me, can
I think I go 6-4.
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Blondie.
sure.
What you saying?
Ranger definitely wins more.
Excuse me.
I would say Ranger wins the
like,
matchup more often
when I-
than Barbarian does.
Yeah, when I see barbs, they're usually free. So
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we
Blondie, what
both
do you
said the same thing.
But again, the average Barbarian you're running into is fucking dog shit. Like,
Yep, that's
they're
true.
horrible.
Let him talk,
But the
bro.
average
Let him
Ranger
Blondie.
you're running into isn't that great either. And
Let Lodi talk. What do you hear? What do you say?
sorry.
I just gotta bow out. I just wanted to say thank you, Retro, for not being completely like rude, and disrespectful, and you let me.
Oh, no, he's
join
still a
the brawl. No, that's like 10 times more than what other people do. And I appreciate you allowing me in your Discord and having this conversation.
No
Like,
worries,
a lot of
brother.
People are not civil or respectful enough to have that.
Oh no,
So
this
I wanna-
community's
I wanna-
toxic.
No worries, bro. Everyone thinks I'm
I just
toxic,
know-
bro. Don't worry. It's okay.
I just wanted to say thank you. And
When we have
Thank
Iron
you.
Mace as our dev team, we all have to be toxic.
Yeah, I thought you were
Yeah,
the barbarian
exactly.
shot caller.
Honestly, honestly, thank you too, Baloney, for inspiring
Uh,
this even to happen in the first place.
yeah, good luck in the
Appreciate you talking with
dungeons. Let's make Melee great again. And yeah,
W
thanks
take.
again.
Yeah, no
All right,
worries,
wait,
boss.
Baloney, before you go.
Yeah.
What if they made it so the zone starts closed, and if you survive, it slowly expands?
I can't comprehend this. Wait, say that again.
The zone starts closed, so we're just all on top of each other, and it slowly expands if you survive. So it's more melee based.
Yeah, no.
No, that's not good. That's not good.
No. So wait, hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll let you go
God.
because you gotta get up.
Wait.
All I'm gonna say is every class has its role, right? And the best way to balance the game is not let one class be able to do everything. Okay, and that's why I'm going to say, fuck warlocks. Warlocks do not belong in the game.
Rude.
and-
Warlock's B tier, bro. The goat himself told me.
Warlock's
Warlock B
cringe.
tier.
I'm just kidding.
Bro, who was that said that, by the way?
I
Oh
think-
my god.
I think Warlock
is.
is-
They only have
I
top
think-
damage, top healing.
That
I
was
think
the
Warlock
funniest
is a
thing of
very
all time.
strong class, unless they're going up against like a ranger who just knows how to fucking make them not be at 100 HP anytime. in the
Yeah, I mean,
entire
Ranger
round,
can
but-
do stuff. I agree. It's good versus
Yeah.
Warlock, but still, Warlock's fucking annoying as hell. Holy shit.
No, of course,
So
but
weird.
like
Love-
if I'm
love you
playing
guys
Warlock
all.
into a wizard, I'm probably
Enjoy the
gonna win that
dungeons.
matchup, so.
Peace out,
Just remember to
buddy.
have fun. Just remember to have
Peace,
fun.
Baloney.
That's all that matters.
GG's.
Oh my
Ray,
god,
Ray, I wanted to ask you why don't you like the? I feel like more HP.
Dude, you
allows
know
you
what
to
the
fight
problem
rangers.
is? There's so many
Does it
shitty
not?
barbarians that when
It
you
doesn't.
run into
Why
like an
not?
actual good
Why not?
barbarian,
Because
it's like
the-
it throws
the
More
you off.
survivability. You
I
live
saw
longer.
Wolf Barb, I
Yeah,
was like,
but
oh, this
you
guy's a
also
fucking
live
bot.
longer.
Free loot.
So we're in the same boat.
Unfortunately.
I don't know, man. You give me 15
I
HP
may
more. I
have
think
done
I'm
the
still
free
dying to
loot.
2 hits.
He's
from a
definitely not a
barbarian.
noob. He's like
Well,
probably the best.
I mean,
solo
you don't
barb
die to
player I
two-star
can
Unless I'm
barbarian
tank
right
build,
now on
but-
average, and all that means is you have
Oh,
to
I
land,
die.
you have to
Rangers
land,
do die to 2 hits.
you
on
have to
barbarian.
land one more bow shot, which is free, and I have to land one more melee shot, which isn't free.
No, you don't. You don't have to hit me 3 times. You have to hit me 2 times.
Retro,
I will go on my barbarian right now. You can go on a ranger. You can go into arena, and I will 2-tap you. Like, yes, my kid is insane, but I still will 2-tap you 100%. And if I will 2-tap you to the point to where I will put you down to like 20-30 HP after the first hit, which means you're not taking 3 hits if I add 15 HP to the ranger.
I mean, again, we're like removing all the other things that happen.
We're not removing all the other things. A barbarian on average has a lot of damage off of base, right? Like if you have a purple bardiche and you build, I don't know, 25, you can even have 25 strength. You really don't need that much. Decent amount of fizz power. You are 2-tapping rangers, even at like 120, like 130, maybe even 140 HP.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. Okay.
We're not. We can't. This isn't arguable.
If you get 2
it's just
headshots?
facts.
If I get
Yeah,
No,
you get
just
I
2 body shots.
no,
Not
Yeah.
2 bodies.
Nope.
One
Definitely
head, 1
2
body,
bodies.
maybe.
Definitely 2 bodies. 2 arms, no. 2 legs, no. 2 bodies, yeah. Because
No,
people
it's not.
people have to remember the damage.
You have to hit 1 head plus something
it's
else.
it's not. It's that's literally not.
It can't be a
We
leg.
can. You want to? Okay. Listen. The thing is,
I can
you're,
get
you're making
oppressed.
you're making arguments
Go on,
that
target.
you're making arguments that literally aren't true, and I have clips to back it up. I literally was playing the fist power build yesterday, and I literally hit someone in the back of the head twice.
Go into arena and test it in front of all of our faces. And when you see it and you're wrong, I want you to admit you're wrong.
We
that
don't have
cool?
to. We don't have to go into arena because again,
No,
you're gonna like. I don't have.
Easy.
I can just stand there. You can just stand there and get smacked twice as a ranger in the body.
Put
you will
on
die.
Put on your kit right now. I'll invite you to my party, and I'll grief you in the first match. I'll hit you twice in the body, and you won't die. Now, if I rage and reckless you, and I hit you in the body,
No. You rage. Always rage. Rage is always active in this scenario.
But rage isn't always active when I'm playing.
Rage should be always active when you were fighting. Yes, it should. And if you if you
Well,
rage
that's
and
not-
something
well,
happens
that's
to where
not
a
an
fireball comes at you or you get pushed away, then you should back up, reset, and wait for your rage to come back.
Yeah, but that's also not inherently true either. You shouldn't be raged all the time that you're fighting.
You should when you're chasing a ranger. Yeah.
That's also not entirely true either. You don't always want to be raged. You want to be raged just enough to land one hit on somebody, and then you want your rage to drop while you're in
talking
melee
about
combat.
Barbarian versus Ranger, or Barbarian versus Rogue. These two classes that should be getting 2-tapped, even in the body, by a Barbarian, right? Like these squishy classes.
But
I would
they-
put Wizard there, but Wizard gets 40 PDR just
But
by
they
wearing its fucking
but they
cloth
don't
clothes,
get
which
like
is
rogues
stupid.
don't get 2-tapped.
We literally had a game where Rogue took.
You can go look at the last game that I played against the
In
Rogue.
Arena, rogues are tanks. Rogues
Yeah,
are actually
most
tanks in Arena, unironically.
Well, if
play
it's
tank
the tank build, then yeah, of course. I'm talking about
Yeah, but
you know,
they
the
usually
cloth
play tank
build,
build in Arena.
like the
Yeah,
fucking 20%
but okay, so
PDR build that everybody runs.
but you're talking about a different build, and then it's like, okay, so why
Yes,
wouldn't
but the
why
average
in a
build isn't tank? Like when do you see a tank ranger? Never.
In dungeons,
In
yeah,
Arena.
in dungeons, rangers and rogues are both pretty squishy actually in dungeons.
I think Ranger don't.
And I'm talking about Arena
Progress
right
hard.
now, but realistically, again, we don't bounce around Arena. We bounce around the main game. Not many people
Do we?
like
Yeah, I
yeah.
get
Tank
that.
Rogue is still pretty good in
The end
regular game,
game-
but are you seeing it? No. you're
the
not. You're
end
not seeing
game
Tank Rogue, really.
content, which everyone is trying to play, is what Arena is emulating. If I'm playing in geared
It is.
trios,
Yes, but that is
3v3,
everybody playing with BIS gear.
That's
Not
what
everybody
every-
in the regular
Well-
game is running BIS.
Let me remind you guys too that next wipe when gyms come out, literally everyone's just gonna augment their legendaries to be BIS, just like Arena.
And well,
So it's gonna be
even,
like this next
Even
wipe.
aside from that,
That's what I'm saying.
if you don't have BIS, then why do I have BIS? And again, we're like you're comparing the Barb's strength, which is no gear,
No, I'm not.
versus like no gear. In no gear and no gear, sure, I'm gonna probably land a 2-hit on you, but we're not talking about that. Like I don't want to argue about
We
the
could be
regular
talking
dungeon.
mediocre gear, and the Barbarian's gonna 2-tap the Ranger in mediocre gear too.
Yeah,
Because the Barbarian inherently
I
has
guess.
the fist power and
yeah,
the
that might happen if I don't get 2-hit while I'm approaching.
If I'm in mediocre gear on Ranger, I'm not 2-hitting. I have to
Man,
be
I kinda-
full true with decent fist power to even 4-tap you. And if I'm
You're
hitting
both kinda-
headshots, by the way, then I deserve to 3-tap you. Or
You're both kind of
2-tap you
saying
with a
like something
windlass.
that's true, by the way. Like you're both right, but just in like different forms of the game, if that makes sense. Like one's like a theoretical max, and one's just like the actuality of the game you play in the dungeons. Is
Like if we're playing, if
when
we're
you play
talking
throughout
about
the day, like it's you know what I
I
mean.
did
It's just
math.
gonna be that way, and if you do theoretical, it's gonna be that way. You know what I mean? So you're technically both right.
I did math for the Bardiche, and if you chest shot a ranger at like expected PDR values, you have to sweet spot both hits to the torso, and you will kill them. If you hit one sweet spot and one sour spot to the torso,
Right,
you
by the
maybe
way,
kill
let me-
them, It's like
so-
129.
Yeah, so let me,
If you hit any
which is
limbs,
really
you don't
funny
kill
because
them.
I'm 128 HP right now, my kid. However, I'm 35%. I'm 35% fucking PDR because they changed PDR values and it's kind of insane. I'm wearing full
That is an
frostlight
insane
with
I did the
gold
math for
boots and
30. Give me a sec.
I'm 320 MS with 35% PDR and I'm full frostlight with gold boots on.
Yeah, that change is
Oh,
insane,
one
by the way.
sec.
You're right
Yeah,
about
one
that.
sec.
That PDR change. Literally, all
It's-
my kits in Arena, BIS or not, are like
Yeah.
literally 30% PDR.
I mean, wizards
higher.
are
It's really silly.
wizards are wearing full cloth gear and shit, and they're hitting like 40% PDR. It's a problem. It's a really bad change. And
My
they're
current
reverting.
Warlock kit, which is not even BIS, is 135 health, 315 move speed, and then 30% PDR. It's like, bro, I don't even have good stuff.
Yeah, no, and also like, I mean, this is like irrelevant to the conversation we're having, but I kind of just want to throw it in there. It's like, fucking, I don't mind this game having a certain amount of armor pen, but like rogues having the amount of armor pen they have is actually kind of insanely ridiculous. But,
Yeah, I feel like it'd just be nice if it was like they had armor pen, but then
like
they
I don't
didn't
mind if they have
blue,
some
if
armor
that makes
pen, but
sense.
not what flat 60% or whatever. Like,
Honestly, I wouldn't even mind the armor pen if it wasn't for invis. If it wasn't for the fucker like me
I actually
walking-
agree. Yeah, Invis
walking
need just
down the
needs to get ripped out of the game.
street and then like going, oh boy, can't wait to play the game, and some guy just appears from the shadow realm, materializes in front of me like it's a fucking predator.
I 100% agree.
I immediately get 3
You get to
stabbed,
reply.
and then they tell me, oh dude, you should have observed your surroundings. My brother in Christ, all the doors were shut, and
Hey,
you were
Ray.
sitting
Yeah.
on the bottom of the freaking door, and the moment I'm starting to open the door, you go invis, I'm supposed to know, turn on my spidey senses, and going, I feel
Hey,
Bro's
that's why I run
Bro's on
chase,
like a
baby.
ledge above the
That's why I
door
run
frame,
chase.
like on top of the roof, and he just falls from the roof from the door frame, and just like as soon as you open the door, he falls down there and just starts stabbing you. He's like, "What? Use your headphones, bro."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, just
What do you
freaking
want me to do,
roll a
bro?
perception check, dude. Just get a critical 20. I should have just figured it out.
Bro, you dropped down on my head from like a fucking light post 50 feet in the sky, bro. I don't know what you want me
I
to
mean,
do.
even players like I was playing with Vibin the other day, or like Propose. They've all said that like, hey, man, if you remove invis from the game and make the class like a medium range brawler in terms of like kind of like a Slayer fighter, but obviously faster, and like even give them some
more
form
evasive.
of dash or just some fun movement mechanic or something like that in place of invis. Like at the end of the day, so many more people would play the class because they'd be like, hey, there's some new shit here. But also like every rogue that wants to actually play the game for like not cringe, like hide in the dark reasons and actually have fun on the class, because a lot of them actually swap the barbarian, which is like kind of funny.
The solution to that is just to
but yeah.
change Rogue into that character from Apex Legends.
Makes perfect sense.
Mirage.
Yeah, without the invis, you just give it a clone that it can send out that absorbs damage. Like it just has like half the health of what you have. So that you
but
can
I don't think the clone shit is like good, because at the end of the day, like it doesn't.
It'd be fun.
I don't know, bro.
Some
I'd
people might
rather
like
it
it,
just
but
have a
probably not
movement
good.
mechanic.
Back in play.
Both are good fixes. Like Tumble
Bro, what are you
being like
saying,
more like a Dark
Tumble?
Souls type thing or something like that.
I mean,
like
tumble
that kind
is
of
one
stuff.
thing, but I'd rather them just have like an actual dash, not fucking tumble.
All right, you can talk about the math.
Tumble
Nick,
is
where
so
I guess,
meme. Like,
but-
yeah, tumble can work. Don't get me wrong. I've seen.
I mean, if you
players
make it
use
actually
tumble
good.
properly, but
No, I mean like Tumble itself is garbage. I'm saying if they were to actually rework it and make it like an actual.
Yeah,
ability.
someone was saying make it directional, like you like double tap. Left,
Yeah, like
right,
a Dark
up,
Souls
down.
roll or something.
Yeah,
like that.
instead of
Exactly
a
like that.
5-second lockout backflip. Like, who
That- I
thought
mean-
that was gonna be good?
yeah, no. So the
It's like so
obviously
It takes so
if you
long.
made it directionally, you would have to give it the backstep treatment, where obviously it has a cooldown and shit. So.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know what they have to do for it, but definitely. I mean, I personally dropped Rogue because I'm just tired of the fucking invis bullshit. It's like all they ever do is adjust stealth over and over, or hide rather,
Yeah,
over
even
and
though
over
they
and
said
over.
they don't want to they don't want to like what's the word, like foster people using stealth. They've literally said
Bro.
something along those lines, but
Buff
then they
hide,
buff
nerf
it.
hide,
Like,
buff hide, nerf hide, buff hide, nerf
Yeah,
hide,
it's-
buff hide, buff hide, nerf
it's like
hide,
you
nerf
realize
hide. It's
this
like, bro,
class
it's
is
so
more
boring.
than just hide, right? Like,
Yeah, it's like literally just change anything else, bro. It's so boring. Literally just delete that and just do something
well,
else.
yeah. Well, the problem is inherently that hide is in the game, right? If they
Yeah.
can't buff it, they can't buff other parts of the class, because then that makes the hide part way too strong, because it has other things to go along with it.
Yeah. I don't know. When your top rogues are telling you to just delete hide and stop trying to balance it, it's like, I would just take their advice, bro. That's just.
I
Well,
just
that's the
think
problem.
they're-
They don't take their top tier players' advice. They don't take the players who play the class all day, every day, and have thousands and thousands of hours. They listen to the casuals, bro.
Oh no, they don't even do that. They just shove their
Wow.
hand up their ass, grab a nice chunkful, throw it at the wall, and then goes, "That's the patch today."
I mean, me personally, I believe they just listened. I just think they exclusively listen to Jay Griffey. Okay.
No, they
In one
don't.
peg.
Well, speaking of which, Jay Griffith, you've been really silent. You want to say something?
Wait, if they listen to One Peg, by the way, you realize that none of the bar buffs would have happened, right? He's a barbarian hater. Well,
Yeah,
One
bro, I
Peg.
think
Oh, we know.
it's like,
Yeah,
well,
he
there's no
tries.
sense of
Mostly
physical
play
introduction
caster.
buff. It's gonna, like,
Yeah, One Peg
fucking-
is 100% a barbarian hater. Like you
Well,
will
he mostly
not.
plays casters, right? So I imagine he gets
plays
W keyed
Warlock
in
and
solos
shit,
he gets-
yeah.
Warlock,
Yeah, so that makes sense. He gets W keyed in solos by barbarians, and he's like, "Fuck this class, I'm tired of it."
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Bro thinks
I
like,
get it,
dude,
bro.
that's
I,
25% PDR.
Listen. Before Backstep had 2 charges, every ranger hated barbarian. But now
Of course,
now
yeah.
that we have 2 charges and shit, like we're like barbarian.
Well,
Uh-huh.
it was like 50. It was
You literally-
50.
You watch
Not
Vincent
Vin.
box every single.
I
time,
would
and
not
you're
say it
like,
was
"Oh, I can do that."
50.
Yeah, not
You,
Vinny.
you got Achilles without your fucking backsteps, you were dead unless you like did some crazy shit.
Yeah.
I
That's
thought
like
Ranger was kind of a free kill, personally. before he
that's
had
like
backstep.
that's
Yeah,
like
they
partially
were-
true
it was.
until you run
Ranger was
into
free.
any ranger that like put down 30
Yeah, I
fucking
didn't find
traps.
that.
So
Yeah, of course.
Well, besides
But
that scenario, I guess. Yeah.
the trap nerf was good for the game, and every ranger that wasn't a scumbag that spammed traps was happy about it.
Dude, just
Oh,
look
yeah.
down. Just look down.
What's also really funny is that
Organized
I know. I mean, not to go on like a little right here, but I know a lot of rangers that used to play the game in solos and shit like that don't play. I don't even think they play the game anymore because traps got nerfed. Like it's funny they crunched on them that hard. Yeah.
Well, me and Nick made
I
this.
have not seen them.
Thank God.
I haven't seen them in the game the entire way.
Me and Nick
Like-
made this argument for some of the average like ranged players that like if you took away their ranged for a day, how many deaths do you think they'd have to mobs?
0.
You say 0. The average ranged player? I don't know about that, bro. I think there's a lot of ranged
Oh, yeah,
players
the
who just
average-
decided
You talking
who
about
just
Do you mean
range
like
players
can they
as in
dodge melee
ranger?
attacks?
range
Like mob,
range
you
as in any
Dude,
range
that's what I said.
class. It's not about like good players or anything. I'm just talking about like the
Are you
average
talking about
player.
the average player?
Yeah.
The average
Yeah,
person.
the average
Dude,
person.
the
Well,
average person
I'm
who
gonna be
plays,
honest.
like,
The average
Warlock.
ranger is using a spear against most mobs, though. So.
Yeah, but
Nowadays,
even
yeah.
but even still,
But for like, I guess I don't know. I
I'm
get what
just-
he's trying to say. Like,
I'm
if
just
you were
saying-
forced to have to dodge mobs, could you even do it anymore? Kind of thing is what he's trying.
Yeah,
to
That's
bro,
all I'm
backstab
saying.
spear against
Not
mobs, bro.
anymore.
You're still not dying.
Yeah,
I'm
it's just
saying
other
they
classes
loaded
trying
up
to
Dungeon
build it or
1,
something.
going to
died to
hell
a skeleton,
solo.
and they said, nah, never
Yeah,
again.
going to hell solo as a ranger, like I can just cheese and farm everything. Like it's.
Of course, yeah.
But obviously,
who
I'm
doesn't
not
do
the
that?
average player, of course. I can,
You're also
I
smart though.
understand.
You've already figured out all the cheese.
yeah,
Yeah,
we were
that's
just saying there's got to be like
No, I
a
agree
very
about the
large
cheese.
subsect of the population that plays this game where they loaded into
Yeah.
tier 1 dungeon, a skeleton
Yeah.
killed them, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm
Yep.
never playing melee combat ever again."
Like, it's
I-
genuinely like
I probably
2,000
agree
players minimum.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie though.
minimum.
I feel like there's a lot of barbarians out there as well. You put them in like base kit and send them into the dungeon. The average barbarian, they're dying to mobs too.
Bro,
Yeah,
They don't need
hold
that.
on.
They
The
don't
average
care.
barbarian in the
They don't
dungeon
need
with base
Yeah.
gear, bro.
They would
I'm
just
in the
DPS
dungeon with
chuck
real
mobs.
gear and I'm dying to mobs, bro.
Yeah.
Let's say that
like,
too.
like you want to talk about some of the
above average.
nightmare mobs in the game, like Thanos. Yo, fuck that, bro. I'm backstepping away from him, bro. Get
I've
him.
I'll
never
tell you, bro.
seen
Of
a
course I'm cheesing
mob
that.
where the only way to dodge his sidewinder attack is a 50-50 if you could get hit or if you don't get hit. Like
Yeah,
why? is that-
or use a shield, but yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah. it's the
If
only
you
way.
have a
'cause-
shield, then you're fine. Like a heater shield, because heater shield's just like, haha, I put this giant fucking thing in front of my face, and I just, yeah. Don't get
Or
me
you're
started
on
on heater shield,
GP.
bro. Holy.
You're on GC and you don't think you're gonna aggro the nightmare goblin mage, and then you actually end up doing it mid fight, and you're just bro. it's
Oh
just-
no,
it's
I
fucked
kill it
over.
before any fight, and if the person is gatekeeping it, then I run away. The goblin
Yeah,
mage
you
have
is
to
never
kill it.
alive when I'm fighting somebody.
That's a
Yeah.
smart thing to do, but
You have to
sometimes,
kill it
bro,
so you
you
can jump up
just
top.
want to risk it. You're just feeling it. You're feeling
What
yourself.
about, what about that Bola Goblin? The famous Bola Goblin.
But like,
He won't hit me.
I'm
bro.
telling
He
you,
won't hit
bro.
me. I'll duck. I'm sure it's not. Gonna
What's
hit
up,
me.
Bale?
Holy shit,
Speaking
I'm
of
dead.
mobs, don't get me started on fucking what's it called, the Nightmare Crosswoman. I will be like walking in a straight line, he'll miss me point blank, and I'm like fucking juking, doing left and right, doing like somersaults in
okay,
the
and then
air,
you
and
aimbot your shit.
he's like he's like, yeah, I'm gonna lock this shit in. He just gacks me mid fight, and I'm like, oh okay, GG, there's my kid.
Oh, GG, bro. I just lose my whole kit for free.
Yeah. The nightmare crossbow skeleton does not fuck around. That's for sure.
No, he fucks around. He just wants the what's it called, lower your guard down, you know? He fucks around. He's like, oh darn, I can't see. Oh no, oh you're in the middle of a fight. Yeah, hold up, let me put this fucking ACOG right
Yeah.
quick.
Just to talk about like obviously bouncing one more time because I feel like we're. I don't
Yeah,
know,
I'm
you
still
guys
playing
seem
in a
like
second, bro.
Yeah,
The combo's
just
winding down,
just
I'll get
just
you.
to talk about bouncing one more time, like I'm not one of those people that is 100% biased towards my class. I understand Ranger is in a very strong point right now in the game, and has like a
Especially in
fuck
Arena.
ton of versatility. I totally get that, but I have seen all the iterations of this game and like all the iterations of classes and shit like that, and I'm pretty tired of them just like nerfing. Like I want,
Me too.
like in a perfect world, I'm kind of cool where Ranger is right now. Maybe lower our damage a little bit.
Yeah, I don't mind
yeah,
lowering the
well,
damage.
Maybe lower our damage a little bit, but like
We'll do the spear, honestly.
well, not see the base damage of like the higher tier spears, sure, and rip the fizz power off, but like lowering it past like 45, I don't think so. I think 45 is like a fine spot. But I have a unique spear in my inventory right now that I'm hovering just to like remind myself. This thing is max space 52 weapon damage, and with all the other stats, it's probably like 55 weapon damage in total, because it's like the craziest spear ever. But that shouldn't be a thing. Like, why is my spear on Ranger 55 weapon damage and I have 7 fizz power off a perk? It's just too much
Let me
damage.
tell you
right?
my spear. Yeah, my spear is 37 damage. That seems normal.
Yeah, like it's just it's too much. Like also, to go back onto the thing I was saying before, like, just stop nerfing and start buffing things. Like, I'm not a fan of Barbarian, but that's just because of how, like, Brain Dead the class is. If it had more, like, things to do and, like, more ways to play the game, then I probably wouldn't be so much of a hater towards the class. But
I mean, I agree with you,
the class
Ryan.
is
That's,
just so fucking bare bones.
that's probably something I say literally every single day, is that they need to stop, like in the past 2 years, just literally nerfing every single build out of existence.
Yeah.
It's like, as soon as something is decently good, someone's like, oh, it's too brain dead, and they just nerf it into the gutter, and it never comes back.
Yeah. Like,
it's like, bro, just start. I understand there'll always be a meta, but there should also be counter meta and off meta, and all of it should be like.
It's also the big problem that Iron Mace has, to where they will change one thing, or they'll change two things, and then a couple patches later, they'll revert the one change but keep the other. That is such a big problem that they have in this game. It blows my mind.
Oh, you know what pissed me off?
It's like they literally just buffed Longbow. Why the fuck you buffing Longbow?
Yeah, you know what pissed me off, dude? They nerfed the Longbow by 2 damage, but actually 1 damage, because, you know, I guess, you know, 2 and 1 look very similar, obviously. And then go the next patch, not even a patch later, goes, okay, so we're buffing Longbow damage by 2. Like,
yeah, well, they also did this with Spear,
stupid.
so
Like,
unique Spear only used to go to 49, now it's 52. They just did that
Longbow's
recently.
already
They
meta,
just did
and
that the
we're-
recent patch.
Like, Longbow's already meta. Why are we buffing it? And then we're nerfing Battle Axe. Who the fuck uses Battle Axe besides some dude that literally has a level 1 fucking barbarian? Bro's level 1, that's why he has a Battle Axe. He doesn't have quests unlocked, that's why he has a Battle Axe. Why are we nerfing that but buffing Longbow? It's
at the end of the day, it's just the big problem that everybody's been saying forever. It's just they don't use their test server, and like it's kind of incredible that they've gone this long without using it properly.
They don't have people to use it though.
Okay, hold on. I hate that argument. Nobody uses it because 1, it's on an old patch, and 2, they don't feel like grinding. Make the test server to where it unlocks everything for you, and you don't have to spend any gold, and you get to test everything you want in the game. And then people go, oh, well then everybody will just play the test server. No, people play this game because they want to gain gear. They want to actually experience the game and do all the other stuff.
Cheeto,
they don't
that
want
part.
to just be. They don't want just to be given every single thing for free.
Yeah, didn't they say that on one of the podcasts?
A lot of work for the devs. But literally, go into the test server,
they said that, yeah.
Go into the test server, make every cost of every single item inside the vendors 0.
0 gold,
to where you can just obtain
be
it for
max
free,
and be max level as well.
And
so
make
you have
everyone
everything
level 15. Or level 20, sorry. Make everyone level 20 and make everything in the merchant cost 0.
No, I think you should make. I think you should make everybody level 1,000 and have everything, because at the end of the day, we are being your guinea pig and we are testing the game for you and showing you what is broken.
Yeah, they also suggested that you get a reward, right?
Changes. Everything costs 0.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't even care about the reward. I don't care about getting a reward. Just let us help. Let us help you fix. Let us help you fix your game, please.
For real, like literally.
We want to help you, but you don't let us.
Yeah, me wanting to having to grind quest again in a fucking test server to get like, oh man, I got Abyss Bardiche here, and then like.